Hello everybody, welcome back to Madden NFL 2004. It's week 6. We have 3 games, 3 hopefully exciting games of action for you today. If that sounds like fun, be sure to scroll down and subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I post new videos and you can catch random rosters every single Tuesday. I don't actually really explain what this show is at this point anymore. We're on episode number 66. So thanks so much for watching. That is a lot of content to consume throughout the week, so I do appreciate the support. At the beginning of the season, I did a fantasy draft, randomized all the rosters, and we just kind of see who wins. Spoiler alert, it was Tom Brady last season, because Tom Brady just wins Super Bowls. That's all he does. At least I think it was Tom Brady. Pretty sure it was. We have 3 games, like I said. That's how it works during the regular season. When we hit the postseason, it will be 4 games, and those videos will be beefy, so keep an eye out for that. Today, we're going to start with the Raiders taking on the Browns. Both of these teams, I believe we've seen. Maybe the Raiders are new. I'm not 100% sure. We have seen the Browns, though, all the way back in week number 3. Then, we are going to head to Indianapolis. The Colts, I'm pretty sure, are a new team, but we're going to watch them play the Panthers. The Panthers we saw all the way back in week 1 with their backup quarterback. Drew Brees came back last week. He said it looked like he was like probable or questionable when I checked the injury report before recording last week's video. So I was like, I don't know if I want to roll the dice that he's not there. And I figured this would be a good opportunity for us to see Drew Brees in his first action on the channel with the Carolina Panthers. God forbid if he got injured in the last week and I didn't realize it. Then we're going to go check out the Falcons and the Rams. Neither team has been on the channel for a little bit. The Falcons picked up their first win last week. The Rams are 2-2 in the NFC West. We'll visit St. Louis. I always have the goal to feature every team and go to every team's stadium, but sometimes it doesn't work out like that. So we'll just go in order. Raiders taking on the Browns. Trading deadline is week 6. All right, I acknowledge that. It doesn't affect me at all because I'm not in charge of anything. All right, here we go. Game number 1 of week 6. Coming off a wild week last week. Unbelievable finish between the Bills and the Bengals. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. And then go back to the first game, which was the Patriots game, I believe, and go watch maybe the most absurd overturn we will probably ever see. I can't imagine seeing a worse overturn than that. And I think they tried later in the episode.
Welcome to the game. EA is proud to bring you continuing coverage of the NFL.
2 proud franchises battling it out. It doesn't look good for one of them already. The Raiders 1-4 with Drew Bledsoe.
Because they're facing a dangerous duel.
We've seen a lot of Drew Bledsoe over the 60-plus episodes of this, the 3+ seasons of this show.
In between 2 defenders for a touchdown.
Marvin Harrison will be his go-to.
Marvin Harrison on the outside. This is a team, just with these 2 guys, I'm a little surprised, is 1-4.
This combo hasn't been easy for many defenses, so we'll have to see what type of coverages they go with to prevent these 2 from
big
doing
news
a lot of damage.
Coming out of the NFL this week.
This
Looks like Aaron Rodgers is just about all set to go to the Jets. Finally came out of his little,
Let's see how it
whatever the hell he was doing, and
set for the kickoff.
it's a very cramped AFC North. Of all of the 3 games that we've done, NFL Fever 02, Madden 03, NFL Fever 03, the AFC Central / North, because it was a little bit different back in 02 before the realignment.
Here's the kickoff.
The AFC North is the most consistent, wild division that we have. It is always cramped. We always have a ton of those games as we wind down towards the playoffs, so wind down the regular season, that is, toward the playoffs. And it's mind-boggling to look at that standing as you go like, here we go again. Here we go. We have 11 weeks left in this season, and the AFC North is already very competitive. So we'll probably see a lot of those AFC North matchups. Not even a division that I intend to go in and feature. I'm more of an NFC North guy, but it just kind of works out that way. Sometimes the AFC East is a little bit wild as well, but none of them are as consistent as the home division of the Cleveland Browns. 1st and 10 run goes for 1, and we'll have a 2nd down and 9. I believe it's Kerry Collins with a nice throw to the left side. I love that throw. Dropped it right in the bucket. Looked like he went right back to that running back there. LaDainian Tomlinson, I never did go back and check. I believe maybe his second stint on the Browns.
They line up in the I formation. Using motion.
I formation. Browns already in Raiders territory. They're going to go off left side. Nice move. He gets a lane.
Good execution.
Sealed that edge pretty well. Some poor angles taken by the potential tacklers. Tomlinson, though, he's just too good.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 33-yard line.
So deep in Raiders territory here at the 30. Well, maybe not deep, but they're in Raiders territory at the 33-yard line. Drops back, kind of runs into the running back, finds a wide open receiver, perhaps a fullback there. Number 49. If he's going to get right on the edge of that red zone, it'll be a 1st down and 10 at like the 20 and like a 3rd-yard line. It was rumored last time I recorded. I have to record a couple of these kind of in a condensed time frame, so if more news breaks by the time some of this rolls around and I don't get to it, we'll talk about it in the future, I promise. But it was rumored from Trey Wingo that the deal was basically done for Rodgers to go to the Jets, but we hadn't heard from him himself. He went on the McAfee show, came out and was like, yep, I have intention to play for the Jets, and they're going to work on the trade. But the interesting thing is that somebody had come out with like he had a list of targets that they wanted to get. But he kind of, he denied that and was like really mad at Adam Schefter.
He's got those big old
I don't know.
defensive linemen flying
Enjoy the gangrene, I guess, for the last year or 2 of your career.
Hitting his receiver.
Only one man in the backfield.
And welcome on into Jordan Love here.
Collins sets up. Witten comes in motion.
Tomlinson going to get that yard he needs. He'll get down to about the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st down and goal. Good-looking drive here for the Cleveland Browns.
They saw the play going in one direction, and boom, the ball carrier was going in the other direction.
It's 1st and goal. Collins with a man in motion. Dropping back. Pressure coming. Gets the
Collins throws over to the right side. Touchdown.
Great timing on that.
Those blurry buildings look pretty bad in the background, but that touchdown looked a lot prettier.
But then he looks up and the ball's right there.
Wow, that is a terrific drive. I love that route right there. Good design. Defense got it kind of bunched up in a trio there, and the receiver was able to break free. I was actually worried for a second that he was going to throw him basically out of bounds. But nice job on the sideline to get turned up the field and score a touchdown.
Point after. And it's up. The extra point attempt.
Kick is up. Kick is good. 8-play, 63-yard drive. A little over 2.5 minutes of the game, and Oakland finds themselves with their first offensive possession coming up here with being down 7.
Those results the next time they get the ball.
I don't think since I recorded there was anything terribly exciting. I don't know. I don't remember if the Lazard situation had happened. Alan Lazard, though, is going to the Jets. If I didn't cover that last time around.
7-yard line. We'll see if they can turn this first drive into points. One of the great running backs in the league, John, up against one of the league's
I did think that Derek Carr going to the
defensive
Saints was
Well,
kind
I
of
will say one thing I
the
think we've
big
learned
tip
from the
off
last
that
couple
Rodgers,
seasons.
either that Rodgers was going to go to the Jets or that the Jets felt really good about their ability to get Rodgers there. Hit in the backfield and dropped. Love the defense there. Bring some extra pressure. It was a good call because it was a play-action pass before he was able to get turned around and try and get that ball out of his hand. And it's actually, they're going to call that an incomplete pass, interestingly enough. So it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Under pressure.
Under pressure again. Number 54 just kind of ran into the ball there. That looked a little silly. Bad throw from Bledsoe. That isn't one of those like weird Madden plays that you see. That's just like him just winging it and hoping, I don't want to get sacked, and then he just throws it right at his shoulder.
Cleveland comes out with 7 in the second half. Surveying the field.
Bledsoe down the left side into some coverage. Somebody got a hand on it and it falls incomplete. So a quick 3 and out for the Raiders. That is good news for this Browns offense, which was in rhythm, looked really good, looked like they felt really good.
Confusing him with their schemes and their coverages.
So 3 and out, and they'll line up to punt. Here's the punt. And he signals to the fair.
They'll have an opportunity to continue that hot streak here with their second drive of the game. Deion Branch, I believe he was a Seahawks receiver for a while. Probably said that last time I saw that last name. Would have been the time the Seahawks would have been
with the pass.
Where they got into the Super Bowl, where they lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The quarterback put that ball on the receiver perfectly.
The ball is right at midfield.
The ball's on the 48-yard line, but all right. The Browns find themselves right back into Raiders territory with a 1st and 10. They have had all the possession here in the first quarter. Pitch to the right side.
The 40.
Oh my goodness. LaDainian Tomlinson is having his way against this Raiders defense, a familiar foe, being that he played in the AFC West. I don't know exactly what year this was for LaDainian Tomlinson. Another run. They're going left side. Beautiful spin move, and just like that, they're right back in the red zone. Really seeing why this Raiders team is 1 and 4. 1 and 4. Yes, indeed, 1 and 4. But a little surprised that the Browns are 3 and 2 and not a 5 and 0. I'll have to keep an eye on that Detroit Lions team, by the way. They are still undefeated. All the undefeated teams there are in the NFC, and that is almost a bad throw. That is what the Raiders needed. They needed that player to come down with that pick. It's a great defensive play regardless, but to be able to kill that momentum, stop this drive, and give the ball back to the offense, only down 1 score, would have been huge. Still a nice defensive play on the back end. See, you could see where Collins was going, but it was just a little... It wasn't enough air under it. Oh, and it leads to a touchdown on the immediate next play. LaDainian Tomlinson with a beautiful spin move. We have seen quarterbacks throw into the running backs out in the flat a lot over these last couple of weeks, and that one goes for 6. And it is 13-0. We are not looking good here. I was hoping for more competitive games. And that is unfortunately not what we're getting.
The kicking team heads out onto the field. And it's on its way, and the extra point is good. And a great finish to that drive as they got into the end zone, and the defense is going to have its hands full trying to keep them in check.
They're moving the ball.
All right, 14-0 with 46 seconds to go here.
I'm very impressed by the players they have, especially on offense. But the thing that impresses me most is the coaching staff. They're always very well prepared. They do a good job of calling plays, and the plays that are designed to take advantage of the other team's weaknesses.
Do they have much of anything? Do they have a way to respond? They are going to have the benefit of getting the ball first in the second half, so if maybe they can trade scores, trade touchdowns, whatever, they can try and double dip toward the end of the second quarter. That feels like kind of thinking a little bit too big. I think right now, first step, get a first down. Get a first down, get a drive moving. Take some time off this clock. Let that Cleveland team, the Cleveland offense, Let them sit on the bench. Let them cool off.
Nice play fake. He hits his receiver.
Went with a play-action pass on a 1st and 10 again. Bledsoe this time does find Marvin Harrison for a nice game.
That's something he's always had. Good rotation and a soft touch.
I believe that will give them, it'll be a 2nd down and 1. So a nice play. Good start here.
Dropping back.
Bledsoe drops back. Finds another receiver, that time on the left side. They'll get up near the 45. The Raiders, with all of their yards on this drive so far, 80 pass yards for the Browns already, and this is only in the first quarter.
Good job of hanging on to that last one because it got there in a hurry.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on their own 45. The Raiders using motion.
All right, and that will do it for quarter number 1. It is 14-0. Raiders with a much better looking second drive here with a whole 1 first down. We'll look to pick up a couple more yards here and convert for another first. Oh, excuse me, that last play was conversion for a first down. It is 1st and 10 here to start quarter number 2. For some reason, I thought it was going to be a 2nd and 3. Bledsoe drops back, fires into double coverage, and batted down by the Cleveland defense. Nice play there. Bad decision by Bledsoe to throw into 2.
That time he was right there in the secondary to tip the ball away.
Gets rid of it.
Bledsoe with a beautiful throw to a wide open receiver streaking up that left side. Maybe kind of like a little slant.
And he made it look very easy.
2nd first down for the Raiders, both of them coming on this drive. Get into a little bit more of a rhythm here. Maybe a little bit of an offensive shootout.
There, maybe a yard.
They'll go back to the running game. They'll pick up, I believe, their lone rush yard of the game.
2nd and 8 coming up here. Ball on the 26-yard line. He'll get it again.
Hand the ball off. They'll go left, but it's well defended by Cleveland. And then drop it for a loss of a couple.
Shut that play down very quickly. That's just a case of studying game film this week paying off. When you know what they like to run in certain situations, you can anticipate the play call and stop the play before it even gets started.
So 3rd down and 10. Bledsoe's going to drop back, throw to the left side, and yet again another open receiver. That left side's been particularly effective for Bledsoe this time around. And just up and in, and the defender broke to the outside toward the sideline. Poor communication or just a really good route combination to cause some confusion. A little bit of both, maybe. It's like Fred Taylor is the running back for the Raiders. And we have another 1st and 10. This time, it's the Raiders inside the red zone. He's going to throw out to the flat, find a receiver, and he'll get tackled inside the 5. 1st and goal for Oakland.
In a hurry, and they pick up enough for a first down.
And a really nice play. Again, getting a lot of running backs and fullbacks involved over these last couple weeks. And that play is effective down to the 2-yard line. 3.5 to go here in quarter number 2. Off the right side, untouched for the touchdown. The Raiders with a beautiful response drive to make this a 7-point deficit. Take some time off the clock. Cool that Browns offense down on the sideline. Give your defense a chance to catch their breath. Make some adjustments. And you're looking at a very real possibility of trying to double dip as this as halftime comes up and
Longwell comes in for
try and even maybe take a lead. Ryan Longwell, longtime Packers kicker, is good on the field goal there.
So the offense is able to drive the majority of the field
and
finish with a touchdown.
Yeah, the offense kept taking and taking, and the defense kept giving and giving until they finally got the touchdown. Now they're going to talk with their coach and see how they can keep it from happening again.
The last Madden video had another copyright again. For some
And the
reason.
kickoff team comes out onto the field.
I don't even remember that happening. But, I guess Jets, Are You Gonna Be My Girl played for 14 seconds.
Cleveland can take complete control of this game if they can get this one into the end zone. It's 1st and 10. Ball on their own 20. Witten, the motion man.
Okay, 1st and 10 for the Browns, looking to respond to a touchdown
This one falls
that their defense, the defense gave up.
I thought he was going to bring that one in.
Looked like he had it.
That was off the hands. That is a catch. You have to have that catch. We saw that problem with Tennessee last week.
Gets set with only one
Just
back
really struggled. I mean, like, you look at the players that they chose to highlight and you go, how is this team like a one-win team? And then you watch them play and you go, oh, that's why, because they're not good.
And this pass is completed.
Like a throw off his back foot, but Garcia is able to get it to his receiver with enough strength.
He also rarely makes a bad decision out there.
And a nice completion there. Keep this clock moving. Don't give the Raiders. Don't do what the Raiders offense did, right? Give up a touchdown, a real quick 3 and out, and then you give the ball right back. Put together a drive. Respond. There's another open receiver. I don't think either of these defenses are particularly good. They are giving up yards all over the place. The Browns defense started a little bit better because they were able to get that 3 and out. Maybe it's not even that the defenses are bad necessarily. It's just solid play calling offensively. First and 10. Tomlinson tries to bounce back inside, but gets spun down. 47 yards for Tomlinson already today.
8 to go. Pressure coming.
Garcia steps up and throws, and it's almost intercepted. Second time the Raiders have basically had their hands on the ball, just not able to come down with it. Now, last time that happened,
Oakland comes out in the quarter.
the Cleveland scored on the very next play. What do we have here on a 3rd down and 8? 2:14 to go here in what's been a pretty good second quarter, at least.
With the pass.
Garcia throws it, it's a pick! Oh, that's exactly what the Raiders needed. It was way too crowded over there for that ball to realistically find the receiver. Deion Branch coming up injured on that play. And that is going to give Oakland a tremendous opportunity. The Browns were doing such a good job at putting the drive together. They didn't do the 3 and out and give the ball right back. Got some first downs. Looked like they were going to wind that clock a little bit more. Oakland comes up with a big defensive play. 2:09 to go here. They could tie it by halftime, and they will get the ball first after the break. So, very exciting.
He shakes the defender.
That is just a terrific run by Fred Taylor. I actually like the run play call there. I know it's easy to say that when it goes for a large positive play. But maybe you could try and build to the play action. The Raiders keep starting on the first play of the drive with play action passes, and they haven't really done a whole lot with the running game to bait the Browns into breaking on the back end. In fact, it led to what probably should have been a sack, but ended up being an incompletion on that first play of the game for them offensively. 2-minute warning here. Raiders nearing midfield. Cleveland shifts their defensive line and linebackers. Throws to the left side, and just a really nice throw there for about 11. 1st and 10. Raiders will work with a hurry-up offense. I'd like to see them just run a play here. Don't spike the ball. We saw that actually really hurt the Bengals in last week's game. A 4-yard gain. We'll set up second down and 4. Bledsoe from the shotgun. He's going to just whip it out real quick. It's like a kind of like a short 3-step drop from under center, but just got it, throw it. I like the play design. I like the call. Looked like the receiver had a good shot at catching it, but just couldn't come up with the reception. Incompletion stops the clock. 1:36 and a 3rd and 6 to go. Bledsoe drops back. Has some time, but he takes a little bit too long. He gets sacked from behind. 91 kind of got knocked off his block a little bit. Bledsoe's got to get that ball out of his hands 2 seconds sooner.
Time for a punt here.
I'm a little surprised to see him hold on to that ball so long. He's been good about trying to get it out of his hands. 3-yard sack will bring up 4th down and 9. And Oakland feels like they lost a real good opportunity there. Kick is away. It's going to be fair caught.
That was a smart thing to
Raiders
do
caught that ball. That was so confusing. Like, it's tremendous punting here.
Or they can just play it safe and go with a few running plays.
All right, we'll see what Cleveland wants to do here.
Using motion.
They're deep in their own territory. Oakland should have all 3 of their timeouts. So if Cleveland elects to run it, which they do, should see some quick timeouts here. I mean, win the field position battle, try and get a field goal.
Only 1 man back.
Can get 10 unanswered points. There's no reason for Cleveland to snap this ball. All of this is confusing. I sound like I'm saying everything in a question.
Looking to run it here.
Well, that should end the half.
Springs the back for the first down.
And then what happened there was offensive line.
Looked like Tomlinson maybe was injured there.
And that allowed the back to get through the line and into the secondary.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on their own 18.
First and 10. Ball on the 18-yard line.
All right, that takes us to halftime. 14-7 your score. The Raiders looked like they were going to get knocked around in this one, but they had that really nice drive to try and to put a dent in that lead. 168 total yards for the Browns. Most of those yards coming in those first 2 touchdown drives. They've since stalled out a little bit, and they did have that interception as well. Oakland, thankfully I am correct, will get the ball back here to start half number 2. Excellent opportunity for them to tie this game.
Booming kick downfield.
A little surprised to not see them take some timeouts. The clock management a lot better in this game than it is in NFL Fever. That man backed into the tackle on accident. That was really funny to look at. The clock management a lot better, has the hurry up offense, has teams winding the play clock down to take as much off as possible, but I'd like to see it a little more effective on the defensive side. That was a terrific opportunity for the Raiders. Call timeouts, get some stops, call timeouts, get a field goal. If you give up a first down, no big deal, but you at least give yourself an opportunity. Weren't able to do that. 4-yard loss on that first run from scrimmage, and that is not a great way for the Oakland Raiders to start this drive. Second down and 14. Bledsoe, quick 3-step drop, and he is loving that left side.
30-yard line. Right on the
99 passing yards.
And the thing is, the secondary looked a little.
Browns have had a much more successful running game
ball in time, and now they get a whole new set
throughout
of
throughout
They
this
line
game.
up in the I formation.
Oakland under 10 yards rushing.
slings it to the
There's a
outside.
throw over to the right side.
Loses the
Gonna go for the running back that time, Fred Taylor, out of the backfield. Nice play for probably about 7. It's gonna be second down and
If you
short.
don't get it on this play, you can always go back out there on third, and you still only need a yard or 2.
Second down and 2. They'll give him 8 on that one.
Drops back with the pass.
There we go, Bledsoe to that left side. He's loving the left side deeper down the field, or to the right side if it's the running back. That's kind of where he's going.
Ball right around midfield. Taylor lines up behind his fullback in the eye.
48-yard line.
Passing on first down. Under pressure. Gets
Bledsoe
the pass
looks,
off.
fires. Hey, there's the right side. Is that Deion Branch? Is he back in this game?
You know, as a receiver, all you have to do is get a
Wow,
step.
okay, the left side
and this
maybe not
guy's
as
gonna
much as
put
I
the
thought.
ball on you.
I would guess that some of those routes he's thrown to his left, though the game qualifies it over the middle. Either way, Raiders have a good-looking drive here to start the second half. They'll go with a run play. He has some room. Blockers in front, and a really nice run
The
right there.
offensive line dominated
Doubled
the
their total
defensive
yards
line there, and they
on that
sprang
single
the
run. Look at that. 3 dudes in front of him. Just clearing the way. He had to run past a couple of them because they're not as quick as he is.
Only one man back.
Ball on the 17-yard line.
So first down and 10 inside the red zone again.
Get set. Pressure. Throw it. He hits his
There's a
receiver.
throw over the middle and just so much room to run, and he fumbled it at the goal line. Quincy Morgan injured his head on the play, but he fumbled it at the 1, and there were just way too many Cleveland Browns in the area. That is a devastating turn of events.
So after the fumble now, it's
Oh, they're going to challenge this fumble.
clearly a big momentum shift could be in the making as we take a look at a possible
It is
And they really had
impossible
no
to
choice
see
but to challenge it
where he
because
is.
of
Those
what
two
it
linemen
could
are
do for
right
both
in the
teams.
way. Okay, here we
I
go.
don't know. It's
Number
a tough call
81.
from seeing that angle.
I think it's a fumble. I think it's a good fumble. There were 5 Cleveland Brown defenders in that area. There was no way they weren't coming up with that ball. It is overturned. Oh my goodness.
Good decision as the call is
This game loves the
Official sees what you
overturn.
see, and sometimes he sees
It's like I
something
turned on a
else.
cheat to just
This
overturn
time,
every play.
Everyone could see the call had to be changed.
We did not get much out of that at all. Actually, we actually might be able to take a look here with the instant replay. Let's take a quick peek here. Bledsoe's going to go to his left, though I'm sure this will count as more the middle. All right, so we're going here. Here's where it's going to start to get a little... Keep an eye, I guess, on that left knee. And I think, again, we're going to just kind of end up with that weird thing that we had last week of where is the hitbox on the ground? Is his knee on the ground there? Would that be it? There's no way to, like, lower the camera? So there's the ball loose. Oh, you know what? That's probably a good overturn. Probably knee down there. Ball still in possession. Slides a little bit, and then... Yeah, all right. Hey, good job. Good job, video game. Wow, Drew Bledsoe with the quarterback sneak. In for 6. Wasn't even really much of a sneak.
And keep pushing and pushing until they're putting up 6 points in the board.
Wow. Tie game here with the extra point pending, obviously. Don't want to count on chickens before they hatch. So on and so forth.
Longwell comes in to attempt the point after. And And it's on its way. The point after
Kick is up, and the kick is good. One play, no yards, 1 second. But a terrific drive there for Oakland, and they have scored 14 unanswered to tie this game up about halfway through quarter number 3.
Have to go very far. I'm sure the next drive they'll come out and want to stop them, no matter where the drive starts.
The kickoff team lines up.
Is lined up for the kickoff.
The kick should be returnable. From the 2.
Take it out to the 20 and get tackled.
It's still anyone's game.
Former PlayStation 5 exclusive Ghostwire Tokyo joins Xbox Game Pass in April. Oh my god. You ever want to play an open beta that's 92 gigabytes?
Yardage like this.
Second and 7 coming up here.
That
Ball on their own
is
23.
massive. So the open beta, I believe, was this past weekend. There's actually 2 open betas going on. Diablo 4's open beta happened, and Exo Primal was another open beta that was going as well. And then if you have the weekend before that, you had Deceive Inc. And I think the Diablo 4 regular beta, or the exclusive beta, was out the weekend before as well. So. Oh, okay. I apologize. Last weekend was early access, the 17th through the 19th. It is open to everyone the 24th through the 26th. Okay, I should make some time to try that out.
You got to deliver the ball out there quickly.
Maybe.
But it has to be catchable. You got to use some touch.
That's a really big file.
Ball on their own 48. Drops back, closing in.
Throw out to the flat there. We'll get refocused on this game. It's been a really good one, so I should be maybe a little more honed in here. April 12th. Oh, that is such perfect timing because I didn't have anything going for those dates. Excellent. Ghostwire Tokyo joining Xbox Game Pass April 12th. Good news for stream people over here who didn't have anything to play in the middle of April. There's a throw over the middle, well short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down. The Raiders making terrific adjustments here defensively and offensively to get themselves right back in this game. It's tied. The defense makes another stop. The Browns got off to such a hot start in that first quarter, and they have been cold ever since. Fourth down and 6, about a minute to go here in quarter number 3.
Lines up deep for the punt return. Here's the punt. And he waves for the
fair catch. It's going to spiral or bounce into the end zone. And that's more something we see in NFL fever. We just couldn't quite get it to kick up.
So they have 1st and 10 here.
All right, 102. What do the Oakland Raiders have in store for us? Throw over to the left side. That's a completion out near the 40-yard line. And a terrific start. 1st down and 10, too. That's right, a 1st down and 10.
And accuracy to go along with it.
They'll go from the I formation.
Ball on the 39-yard line.
Dropping back the pass on 1st down.
Bledsoe throws over to, that's right, his left again, and he is just carrying defenders all the way down inside the 40.
He can make the completion regardless of the coverage.
My goodness, this Raiders team is on a roll.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 40-yard
First quarter
line.
was all Cleveland's. This third quarter. Second quarter was good. Competitive. Felt like it was pretty balanced between the two teams. This third quarter has been dominated by Oakland. Even though the Browns had a much better
And again, he
a
demonstrates
much better
his
drive
You know, when a quarterback has
this
a guy
time
like
around,
this who can
whereas
catch about any ball he
the
throws,
Raiders had the
he can become
one
kind
drive
of a
in the first
security
quarter that was
blanket.
3 plays and
If
out.
he gets in trouble or he starts feeling pressure, he can look in his direction because he has so much confidence in it.
Ball on the 28-yard line.
To the air on first down.
Bledsoe drops back, throws left side, finds a receiver. It's going to be right at that first down marker.
What a throw.
There you go, the left and middle starting to take over.
At the end of the third
There
quarter,
is quarter
it is
number
still
3
not
complete.
enough.
We have a good one here in Cleveland. Oakland and Cleveland tied at 14, going to the 4th.
And we'll start
We have
the
5
fourth
minutes to
quarter.
decide this one unless we need overtime. I don't know if we've seen a tie in Madden.
First and
I think
10.
we had a tie in
Ball
like
on the
the
18
very
yard
first
line.
game. I think it was actually an overtime victory. We had a couple of ties here and there in NFL Fever, but I don't know that we've had a tie just yet in
Pass
Madden.
play here on first down. Throws it. Did a great job of
I was
looking that ball right
prepping
into
what
his
to say
hands.
as that play was
Quarterback
happening.
made sure that the
Normally,
only guy
I
who
love
could
that
make the
play.
catch
In this
was
game,
his
it seems to
receiver.
just work a little bit better. The throw to the flat, find a running back, but that one was like 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's terrible, really bad. And then he was somehow able to make a 3-yard gain on it. So I guess okay.
Bledsoe doing an excellent job.
Love that little
Things
slant
are
right
really
there. Just
slowing
kind
down
of.
for him right now.
I like that
Seeing
route
coverage and
from
finding the
a
open
running
man
back
feed.
or a
He's really in some
fullback,
kind of rhythm out there.
just kind of out around the offensive line and then just kind of cut in the middle. Nice quick
It's
decision
first
making
and
by
goal.
Drew Bledsoe. Gets him down to
Ball
about
on
the
the
6-yard
6-yard
line,
line.
first down and goal.
First and goal. Ball on the 6-yard line.
It's a blitz. Slings it
There's
to
a
the outside.
throw out to the sideline. He's going to get bumped out. That's going to be about a 5-yard loss.
Loss of 4 yards.
Loss of 4 on that one. They'll be backed up to the 11-yard line.
The quarterback lines up with 2 options behind
On
him.
the 11-yard line.
Firing the ball into
There's
the
a
end
throw
zone.
into the end
Looking for
zone.
the end
Well
zone on
covered on the
second
back
down.
end.
No completion, and it's third down.
3rd and goal. Would be a big win for Cleveland to give up just a field goal try here. Just have to hold for one more
Ball
play.
on the 11-yard line. Drops back with the pass.
Oh, a diving attempt at an interception.
As a defender,
Just comes
you
up
don't
as
get
an
too many
incomplete, and
opportunities
Cleveland
like
bends
that.
but does not
Two
break
hands
here
on
in this
in your
4th
end
quarter.
zone. You're in a
Going to give up
perfect
one
position.
field goal
Heck, you
attempt
have to make that
from Ryan
interception.
Longwell. He's 81% field goal maker.
Longwell will come in looking to try the field goal. The kick is up. Splits the
And the
uprights,
kick is
and
good. 10-play, 67-yard drive, just
points
under
on
2
each.
minutes.
And that last one gives
Ends
them the
in
lead.
a
When you talk about never say die
29-yard
attitude,
field
you gotta
goal
be thinking about these
for
guys.
Longwell.
Doesn't matter how far they fall behind, they believe in themselves and their ability to
Or
come
was it-
back. in
no,
just
yeah, it was
about
like
any
29 yards.
situation.
Because they were on the 11, plus like 7, plus 10. Field goal distances are pretty annoying.
The kickoff team lines up.
Is lined up for the kickoff. The 28.
Nice distance. From the 8-yard line.
Nice run up to the 20, and they
Defense
just,
did a
for whatever
very good
reason,
job
slow
against
down
them
right
last
around
time
that
they had possession, forcing a punt.
that 20-yard line. Goes forward for a couple of more, but it'll be 1st and 10 from the 22.
They line up in the I formation. Pressure coming.
Throw, and it's going to be caught short of the first down marker, but
These days, offenses rely
Browns
on
have
a
been
short, quick pass,
all over the
and
middle of the
receiver gaining
field
lots of yards
for the
after
majority
the
of
catch.
their yards.
2nd and 3 coming up here. Ball on their own.
All
29.
kinds of time here for Cleveland to tie this game up.
Thomas
I
with the deep
formation.
man. Throws it.
Throws a little backhand
That incomplete
block
pass
by
will bring up
the
third
defensive
down.
back there. It'll be 3rd down and short.
3rd and 3. Ball on the 29-yard line.
Tosses it left.
Oh my goodness, he had it, but Tomlinson's able to turn it to the complete opposite side of the field, and he converts the first down. That is an impressive run. I thought that was blown up in the backfield. The Raiders were going to get off the field. They're going to be able to just go into a 4-minute offense, pick up some first downs, bleed this clock dry, and escape with a win. No. LaDainian Tomlinson had other plans. We're going to go for that left-hand pitch again. And again, they're in the backfield and can't get a tackle. We'll go for positive yards. Tomlinson averaging 5.9 yards a carry, which is terrific for him.
It's second down and 4 to go. Ball on their own 42. Collins gets set. He'll get the ball again.
Tomlinson rolls and rumbles forward. Picks up that first down. He'll be out near the 50-yard line. And Cleveland, they're doing a good job here. There's no reason for them to hurry. They had 4 minutes themselves.
The quarterback lines up with 2 backs behind him.
Actually going to spot him a little bit short of that midfield mark, but that's all right. Hand the ball off again. He's contacted in the backfield. He'll reach the ball out and ever so slightly into Raiders territory. I wanted to say briefly into Raiders territory, but that didn't make any sense.
About 8 yards. Ball on the 50-yard line.
They need, 20 yards for a field goal attempt here. Collins over the middle, wide open receiver. Maybe a little bit high on the pass, but a nice adjustment. Comes down with the grab. Gives a nice flex there. And gets picked up off the field even though he was already on his feet.
Eighth play of this drive.
Collins drops back, fires right side, finds a receiver in between those two defenders. He should get forward progress for the first down. But we'll see exactly where they do mark that ball. It'll either be 1st and 10 or 2nd and very short. They will give him 1st and 10. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. Oakland has scored 17 unanswered points. Cleveland looking to respond in crunch time here. This is the NFL on youtube.com/ShaunosaurusRex. Thanks for hanging out. First down and 10. Might be a little bit of an offset I formation there. It's the top of the drop. Throws, finds number 20. He's going to slip and slide through a couple of defenders. And he'll be inside the 10, down to the 4. Or down to the 5, excuse me.
Let's see how this defense handles the no-huddle.
And it is first down and goal. Cleveland going to the end zone, and that was almost disastrous. The timing just a little bit off on the throw. The receiver turned it. Looked like it hit his shoulder pad. We saw a diving attempt at an interception. It would have been disastrous for the Browns. The Browns don't need to go this fast. They are perfectly fine milking this clock. They're in field goal range. Don't give the Oakland Raiders an opportunity to score as the game clock expires, but they're going to go for the touchdown, and that is what they're going to find. 1:43 on the clock for Drew Bledsoe and the Raiders, and the Cleveland Browns finally get back on the scoreboard after being held 2.5 quarters without any points. What a treat. What a good way to start week number 6 here.
They'll line up for the extra point.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. 5-yard pass from Collins to Jackson.
This makes for a better game, I think. The strategy of the game comes into play here more.
Here's the kickoff team.
Is lined up for the kickoff. Number 21.
Nice kick and returnable. From the 2-yard line.
All right, he'll get up past the 20, and that is where things will begin
What they need here is some yards on first and second down, so they don't set
Oakland Raiders.
themselves
I
up
was looking to
with third
see,
or
and I got
possibly fourth
confused
and long.
by it.
The whole field is open to them because there's a decent amount of time left.
The Raiders line up with two backs behind the quarterback. Under pressure.
First down and 10 for Bledsoe. Finds a receiver. That's right, left side.
He's rushing the
We're going
offense
to go with
back to the
the hurry-up offense here. Minute 30 to go. We're going to try and get set there. It's just all discombobulated here. Offset I formation. Running back really took his time to get there. Finds a receiver over the right side. For some reason, points it forward when he got
that
hit.
Showed awareness by the receiver.
Like,
he knew just where he had
he
to go
pointed
to get
north
the
and
first
got
down,
hit from the west.
Pressed the marker and then looked for more.
First down and 10.
dropping back.
Bledsoe looks, fires, right side. Oh, that is a catch. Well defended by Cleveland on the back end, but a better reception by the receiver there. Oakland might be trying to like save their season already. I know that's kind of a dramatic way of putting it, but at 1-4, if you lose this game and fall to 1-5, you might be in some pretty serious trouble. Though it might depend on the division you play in.
That's their second.
As a defense, they know it's up to them to put this thing away. And they're going to need a heck of a goal line stand to do
Terrific
it.
throw again from Drew Bledsoe. Down to under a minute here, and Oakland might score too quickly.
The corners have to be ready for a toss play, or maybe a
Ooh, I don't love that play at all. It looked like it was a QB draw sort of thing, a play-action quarterback draw? Question mark? We're going to go with a spike here. I don't love the spike, especially in this kind of congested of an area. Your receivers and players aren't that far off. Far off the line. You should be able to get set in a reasonable amount of time. You burn a second down here. You got 2 shots at the goal line. And this is what we saw with Cincinnati, last week. And that was a similar thing to what we saw with Cincinnati last week. A spike on a second and short. A throw that could have, in Cincinnati's case, should have been caught. And this is it. Here's your game. 42 seconds to go. It's a 4th and goal. He's going to find a wide open receiver for a touchdown. Oh my goodness. They are piling up the yards. Is that 300 yards passing in this game? Wow. Cleveland still has 40 seconds and some timeouts to work with here. 23-21 the score. Ken Dorsey sighting. If you're keeping track at home. Cleveland, yes, does indeed have all 3 timeouts. Just wanted to double check, be sure. Glad I picked this game.
In for the extra point. The kick is up. The extra point attempt is good.
4 yards from Bledsoe to Bruce, as in Isaac Bruce? And this team's 1-4? Isaac Bruce, Drew Bledsoe, and Marvin Harrison. And 1-4. Fred Taylor in the backfield? Wow.
The kickoff team lines up.
If you told me that, I would have guessed maybe 1 loss. All right, here's the kickoff. Return from the 5 up to the 20. They'll make the first man miss, or at least get past that first defender.
Duplicate their last drive when they were able to get the ball into the end zone.
And he'll get up near the 27-yard line.
They have to get closer quickly so they can get the kicker in range to tie this game up before the clock expires.
You have time. You have timeouts. What does Cleveland have in store for this drive?
Uses the pump with the pass.
Pump fake towards the sideline. He'll get the first down. They'll take a quick timeout. Would have been a great opportunity to just get out of bounds. But you do have the timeouts to play with. You need 30 yards? 35 yards, maybe?
Get set. They'll pass on first down.
Collins to the left side. That one's going to be caught. Good timeout by Cleveland there. Excellent job holding on to that ball.
The quarterback surveyed the field, found the open guy, and got the ball to him in a hurry.
Not much time left, so they'll be throwing the ball here to get into field goal range.
You need 20, 15, 20 at this point.
Throwing on first down.
Pump fakes, throws left side, finds a receiver. He had his hands on it, but could not come up with the catch. Second down and 10.
Yeah, so good it knocked the ball right out of his hand.
Wow.
I'm expecting them to throw here on second down.
They only need to get into field goal range, so they don't need to hit a home run. Whatever they do, though, it's got to be quick.
Collins drops back, throws right side off his hands, and incomplete again.
That's the type of pass that you got to be able to hang on to.
Third down, and they have to keep the ball moving.
John Madden
quickly.
is correct. You got to hold on to that ball. It's in crunch time. You guys have put up such a fight. Though you've been outscored 24-7. He's going to catch it. He'll be inside the 30. They're going to go with a hurry-up offense here. They might just try and spike it, though we might see the computer take a timeout here at 9 seconds. No? Okay, they'll go with a spike at 7 seconds.
It comes down to this. Their kicker will determine the outcome of the game.
Do they have a timeout to use? They did. Interesting.
Back to the game.
All right, here we go to tie it up and send it to overtime.
And it's on its way, and it's good.
It's good. Wow. Hansen nails the 44-yarder, and we have a tie game at 24 with 4 seconds to go.
Kickoff team lines up.
Lined up for the kickoff. Number 81, back to return.
Short kick. He didn't get much of that one. From the 12-yard line.
From the 12 up to the 20, 25, and he'll get spun down with no time remaining.
This game
We're going to overtime, folks. It has been a heck of a game. Cleveland did get outscored 24-10 throughout those last 3 quarters. The Raiders made some real tremendous
returning kicks. Get ready for the kickoff.
Tremendous adjustments to get themselves back in that game, and they're going to give themselves an opportunity to win here. Hey, if you thought overtime rules are bad now, they were worse 20 years ago.
Here's the kickoff team.
Lined up for the kickoff. Number 81, back deep.
Decent kick. We should have a return.
From inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line, he'll get up past the 20 and get knocked down at about the 22, maybe the 23, so 15-ish yard return.
Just a great
Bledsoe in this Raiders offense has been feeling it over the last couple of quarters.
Taylor, the lone back.
Ball on the 22-yard line.
Spun down after a couple. They scored what? 17 of their points here in the second half.
It's second down and 9 to go.
How big was that Cleveland stand to only give up a field goal?
Cleveland looks like they're playing the pass as they're lined up in the
Bledsoe to the right side. Not his most effective side throughout today.
Yeah,
Well covered on the back end, and that'll be an incomplete pass. Third down.
Left his hands over on
Coming
the
up.
sideline.
Cleveland with 6 defensive backs.
Ball on the 24-yard line.
Bledsoe sends a man in motion. Dropping back.
Bledsoe drops back, throws right side, finds a receiver. He's up to the 40, up past that 45 to the 50.
That's the type of thing that can
That
happen when you
is
get
going to
this
set
guy the
them
ball.
up with
He's
a
gonna move the
terrific
ball, and he's going to move it with speed.
opportunity here. Wow. Bledsoe really not favoring that right side, especially down the deep part of the field.
It's first and 10.
It's been left in middle for him to receivers that are not the backs coming out into the
Lined
field.
up in an eye. Throwing. On the
Right on cue, Taylor.
He threw that one
A back from the flat and
That's
picks up
exactly
the
thing they teach you to do.
picks up the
Always
reception
take
there.
what
They'll
the
keep this
defense
clock
gives you.
moving as the Raiders are in Cleveland
no
territory
goal from
here.
the I formation.
Second down and 5.
45-yard line.
Drops back.
High formation, drops back, hits the
Closing
top
in.
of that, drop,
Gets rid of
fires, and there he is free and clear through all those defenders,
John,
excuse me.
he's hurt.
He's
We'll
going to get
an update from
injured,
Melissa
but
as soon as the extent of the injury
held
is
on
known.
to the ball and set them up with great field position right on the edge of the red zone. We might see Oakland just try to end it now. And that is what they will do.
Biggest play of the game to win the game.
Ryan Longwell to end the game.
And it's
Kick
up.
is up. Kick is good. Raiders win.
To their total.
That'll give them win number 2 on the season. It drops Cleveland to 3-3. An absolutely fantastic game. Terrific game by both teams. What looked like it was going to be a pretty bad blowout ended up being an overtime thriller. That's what you like to see as a host of content that lasts for multiple hours. Having your first game be a blowout is probably pretty bad. But we didn't have to worry about it today. That interception was huge for Oakland to kind of give them to halt that Cleveland offense, give them another opportunity to get that rhythm going. And once the Raiders got going, they could not be stopped. Cleveland, on the other hand, really cooled off through the second and third quarter. We saw that game get tied. We saw Cleveland's defense make a really nice stand deep in their own territory to force a field goal. Back and forth game. And that is how we start things here. We are going to go to Indianapolis, and we're going to check out the Panthers taking on the Colts. We have not seen the Colts this season, and we have not seen the Panthers in a while. And the reason we have not seen the Panthers in a while, and they looked good in that first game, Drew Brees was injured. This was one of the storylines I was kind of keeping in my head as we move through this season. What do the Carolina Panthers look like with Drew Brees in that starting lineup?
Each of these teams looking to add a
Well, they're a 2-2 team right now, and they are playing a 2-3 Indianapolis Colts team. So let's find out.
We're here for another great game. Welcome to the action. I'm Al Michaels, my partner, John Madden.
Well, we definitely have one
There he is,
heck of a
Drew
game
Brees.
coming up.
Played in
One
last
reason
week's
is
game.
because we get to see this guy throw the football. He's got all the tools.
And I
that you
believe
look
they
for in a
lost
quarterback.
that
It
game
doesn't
last
hurt
week.
that he has some great receivers to throw to.
Javon Walker will be his go-to guy
Javon
once
Walker?
again, and for obvious reasons. He's one of the better route runners and always seems to make the catch in traffic. Stopping this combo hasn't been easy for many defenses, so we'll have to see what type of coverages they go with to prevent these two from doing a lot of damage.
These guys are really fired up, but they got to watch it jumping around like that. They're liable to pull something.
They're lined up for the kickoff, so let's get
Alright.
today's game started.
What am I doing?
And the kickoff team comes out onto the field.
Number 36, back to return.
Nice kick and returnable. From the 7. Let's see how effective they can be with their first drive of the game.
Number 36 on the return.
First and 10. Ball on their own 23.
Okay. I will let this run, and I will join you in just a moment. Enjoy some Madden 04.
1 yard gain on the play.
The backs are lined up in an I.
Ball on the 24-yard line.
Hands off to the tailback. Breaking free. Keeps his feet moving. John, he's hurt. We'll get an update from Melissa as soon as the extent of the injury is known. John, I think this is a pretty interesting matchup. It could go right down to the wire, and as usual, it's probably the team that makes the fewest mistakes that will win.
Well, this is a classic example of the very resistible force meeting the utterly movable object.
He tucks it away. Carries the ball for 3, maybe 4 yards.
Gain of 4 on the play.
The Colts come out in a nickel package.
Ball on the 40-yard line.
Hand it off. They wanted to pound it through the middle, but they got pounded for a loss.
I'll tell you, that was a perfect time for these guys to call a blitz. They got in there, filled the gap, and brought down the back for a loss.
3rd and 9. Ball on their own 38. The lineup with 6 defensive backs. Using motion. Dropping back with the throw. And he hits his target.
Watch it here. This is a great call on 3rd down to keep this drive alive. They were in a tough spot here, but this is a heck of a throw and catch to pick up that 1st down.
The backs are lined up in an I.
Ball on the 49-yard line.
Get in there, man. Give it all you got.
Breeze gets set.
Bust his grill.
Throwing on 1st down. Under pressure. Gets rid of it. The pass was right there, but he couldn't bring it in.
It looked like he had it, but he just couldn't get it under control.
It's 2nd down and 10 to go. Ball on their own 49.
Get the ball.
A 5-yard pickup on that run by the tailback.
5-yard gain on the play.
The Panthers line up with 2 backs behind the quarterback.
44-yard line.
Hand off to the tailback. Nice play fake. And he makes the grab. That's 3 times on this drive they've been able to pick up a 1st down.
And the thing is, they'll be doing more than just picking up 1st downs if this success continues. They're going to be picking up some points.
Man in motion.
Ball on the 35-yard line.
Hands it off again.
When your yards per carry are this good in the 1st quarter, it could be a long day for the defense.
2nd and 1 coming up.
Get the ball. Sideline to sideline. Tiger up.
Breeze with split backs. Using motion.
The 26-yard line.
With the pass, he hits his receiver. Good-looking play there as they pick up the 1st down and keep the drive alive.
Gain on the play.
Stay after him. Let's go.
Duck it. Not much there. Maybe a yard.
With the carry. 1-yard gain on the play.
Only 1 man in the backfield.
Ball on the 22-yard line.
All right, we are back. Minute and 30 seconds to go here. 2nd down and 9 for Breeze and the Panthers.
Hand off to the
They go with
tailback.
a run. That is a really nice run. Solid moves, just worming back and forth to get a big gain and set up what I believe is a 3rd and short here.
It's 3rd down. 2 to
3rd
go.
down and 2 to
Ball
be
on the
exact.
14-yard line. 13th play of this drive. They'll go with a run once again.
Oh my
Looking for
goodness.
leverage.
Oh my goodness. A
Touchdown.
ping pong ball just bouncing back and forth. Pinball is a better descriptor.
In the end zone.
That is a touchdown. That is a terrific touchdown run on a 3rd down and 2. These Panthers are off to a great start here. 6-0 extra point pending. Actually, he kind of bounced off his own man there, it looked like. I thought it was just a bunch of defenders that couldn't get him down. His own teammate tried to tackle him and couldn't help him.
The kicker lines up for the point after. And it's up. The point after
Kick is up and the kick is good.
Really wore them down on that drive. A lot of plays.
3-minute and 59-second drive. Oh, as a content creator, you love to see it.
You've used a lot of plays. It tires out that defense.
I mean, as a
closer and closer.
As a commentator, content creator, broadcaster, whatever you want to say, you love effective, methodical drives. Just like good game action, positive plays, and things to talk about, not just like throw it to the left, incompletion, throw it to the left again, incompletion,
from the 4-yard line.
Throw it to the fullback out of the backfield to the right, incompletion. Like, all right, great.
First of the game for the offense.
All right, the Colts going to get their first opportunity. Find themselves down 7-0. I don't believe we've seen Indianapolis, but I always get worried that I've made a mistake and I just kind of missed something. So if we have seen Indianapolis, I apologize.
They'll go with a play fake.
We're going with the play action pass, and that was a disgusting play.
Second down upcoming after that incomplete pass.
They look like they were going for a play action pass to a receiver right over the middle, about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Way too much traffic in there. Defense, though, doing a nice job on the line. Get the hands up. You're not going to get to the quarterback. Cause the deflection, set up 2nd and 10. In and out of the hands of the receiver on that one. Well covered.
He really should have had that
3rd down and 10.
All right.
It's like I called it. I put it out into the world. And the Madden gods said, you wanted 3 incompletions? Here's 2.
McMahon gets set. Man in motion.
3rd down and 10. Backs on either side of the quarterback. Rolls to the right. Throws back across his body over the middle of the field. And that's going to be a really nice run after the catch there. McMahon.
They were in a tough spot here. This is a heck of a
I feel like he's a quarterback's name that we've had before, but not like a common one. Might have to check the injury report for the Indianapolis Colts and see if he is a starter.
Only one man back.
What I thought was the most interesting about the Panthers was they look so good in that first one. Can they just kind of keep their head above water until Drew Brees gets back in? And you can see, I mean, the difference. Oh, my goodness. A tremendous first drive for the Panthers and really solid defense there. McMahon couldn't even hand the ball off. That's how quickly Carolina was in the backfield. 2nd down and 10. Somehow they didn't lose any yards on that. They're going with that shotgun split back set. A high snap that's going to really benefit the Carolina Panthers. They got a guy coming off the end. Pretty free and clear. And much like we saw with Bledsoe early in the Raiders game, what probably should be a sack somehow is just an incomplete pass. Isn't a fumble. It's not an intentional grounding.
Drops back.
Man, and again, wow, that is I think the 3rd straight play that you have seen a Carolina defender almost immediately in the backfield. So 5 of those plays were pretty big stinkers for the Indianapolis Colts. The only real bright side was that nice run after the catch. And that'll set up this punting situation. Oh, he can't handle the ball. The defense recovers. He was right there on top of it. And that is how the first quarter ends. The Panthers, you want the ball back. It's going to be the start of the second quarter. You already had a 3-minute 59-second drive. Have another one. Give them another minute.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 31.
Go into halftime 14-0 leaders. Instead, it's a muffed punt. The Colts are right back on the field and doing kind of what they did last time. Just an ugly, ugly pass. Ugly.
Only one man in the backfield. McMahon gets set.
Hands the ball off.
Gibson
They'll gain a
records the
couple on that
tackle.
one. Set up a
On the
3rd down
8-yard
and
line.
8. The
Just
Colts
about
might just get kind of a
3-yard gain
free
there.
3 points off this turnover. And it'll be interesting to see if they can
They need
have
7.
any sort of
Ball on
offense.
the 28-yard line. The Panthers come out in a nickel package.
Oh, McMahon. Oh, my goodness. They went with the quarterback draw.
Right here
McMahon
is
with
how
a
you
big,
can hurt
what,
them.
13-yard run or
Third
so?
down situation. But if they can give him a lane to run through, he's going to take it. And right there, he takes it for a big first down.
First and 10. Ball on the 15-yard line.
Carolina making some really good defensive calls here, routinely having players in the backfield. Just a nice decision to run to the right, away from the guy who was able to split the gap on the left. Pickup of 3, 2nd down and 7. Maybe a little quick to dismiss the Indianapolis Colts here.
Going to the left.
It was a very small sample size, but that small sample size was
And
pretty
it's a
bad.
loss of 2.
That is a loss of 2.
It's 3rd down, and they have a long way to go. Ball on the 14-yard line. Closing in. So they'll lose yardage on that tackle by Kearney.
That was a pretty disastrous 3rd and 4th down.
Downfield, had a lot to
Carolina,
do
though,
with that play.
finally gets into the
Brought back
backfield,
in
gets a
zone
sack
coverage,
on
never giving
McMahon.
the quarterback an option.
And I don't think they really gave up a ton of yards. They were kind of just in field goal range immediately because of the positioning on the
Hoping
field.
to put points on the scoreboard for the first time.
So,
The kick
obviously,
is up.
you take the turnover away, you might be able to extend this to a 14-0 lead. An 8-play, 15-yard drive took a minute 38 off the clock. And we'll see if Carolina can start working that magic again.
Here's the kickoff.
Must have been a kickoff song. I didn't realize how long that segment was, and I kind of heard the music faintly.
It's on its way.
But I went into the settings, and I didn't see anything about like stadium music. It was just crowd noise, and I want to take the crowd noise out.
After that last touchdown.
Obviously, I don't want any of these videos to be
Move the ball on the
blocked or
ground again.
anything. That's not good.
Bust this grill, D. Bulldog under.
Breeze gets set. The Panthers using motion. It's the toss to the left. The 30.
Left side with a really nice
Good moves
run.
on that run.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's good running out
65
there.
rushing yards for the Panthers. They only had the ball one time. They're already out near the 40.
First and 10. Ball on the 39-yard line.
Pressure coming. It's the pass
Oh,
off.
there's a throw to
And
the
incomplete
right
pass
side.
brings up
Dangerous
2nd
play
down.
there, but falls incomplete.
On the play.
Give it all you got, D. Come on. Stay down.
Indianapolis comes out with their nickel package.
Go right back to the ground. That's been the effective spot for the Carolina Panthers so far, considering that they already have nearly 70 yards on the ground. They've had the ball 1.5
Third
times
and
now.
5. Ball on their own 45. Dropping back.
Breeze looking,
Gets rid of it.
fires left side. He's going to be
Looked like that was going to be a
hit
turnover.
right
That's a
as the
fact.
ball
That
got
was a
there. Kind of looked like it actually went off
opportunity
maybe
to
more
make
the
a
back
big
of
play
the
for his
Colts
defense.
defender.
He lets it go as
That'll be a
incomplete
4th
pass,
down.
rather than an interception.
7-3 here. Carolina's got to do a better job here trying to put some of these teams
Kingston
away.
lines up
Their
deep
defense
for
has
the
played
punt
really
return.
well.
Here's the kick. He lost it.
Oh, we lost the ball! A
Panthers.
fumble recovery and another fumble recovery out of what? 2 muffed punts? The muffed punt madness. Oh my goodness. It's going to be first and goal for the Panthers. This is both teams' plans, apparently. Bad drives that lead to fumbled punts.
Duckett, the lone back. They give it to the
Hand the ball off.
And he's brought
He
down.
picked up a couple on that one. 73 rushing yards already.
They line up in the I formation.
Ball on the 5-yard line.
Breeze sets up. Tosses it left.
Carolina stretch run out to the left side.
So
Touchdown.
they get in on the ground.
Yeah, you knew where he wanted
Looks
to go.
like Drew Brees might not be the change that I was thinking it would be. I thought they'd be really effective as far as throwing the ball, but we've seen a really good ground game here for Carolina. Obviously aided by the aided in part, I should say, by the fumble recovery. But hey, fumble recovery on each side now. This is kind of where you would think that this game would have been. Double-digit lead for the Panthers.
The extra point attempt is good.
2-play, 7-yard, 21-second drive.
On the touchdown, and right now they've given themselves a little room for error.
The offense seems to have their number out there. They need to rethink their strategy on defense. Maybe blitz a little more, trying to create some additional pressure. They have to find a way to get this offense out of their rhythm.
The kickoff team lines up.
Is lined up for the kickoff.
Decent kick. We should have a return from the 8.
Oh, terrific kickoff return there. All the way out to the 30-yard line for Indianapolis.
First and 10. Ball on their own 30. Only one man in the backfield.
They'll take over at the 30-yard line. First and 10.
They'll pass on first down. With the pass.
That's a nice throw by McMahon out to that left side. You can see Carolina again bringing an extra rusher off that the offensive line's right side, so where we were looking the left side.
And we've reached the 2-minute mark.
Just couldn't get to the quarterback. We have hit the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter.
Bennett, the lone back on the
Gonna hand it to Bennett. Good pursuit to the ball, and he'll be stopped for a short gain of 2.
Keep the defense off balance.
Shift into a no-huddle offense. McMahon throws to the left side, and it's going to be picked off. That was into double coverage. There was a blitzer coming off the side to his right. Might have rushed that throw just a little bit, so he didn't take the sack. A terrific defensive play on the back end. You're going to watch him just see where it's going, make a break on the ball, and a nice catch. And a solid run back. Been stuck on the word terrific today,
like to add
apparently.
a few more points to this
But I feel like
lead,
it's been
but we'll
more
need
than
to do
applicable.
A good job with clock management. First
So a
and
minute
10.
and 45 seconds
Ball on
here
the
for this
43-yard
Carolina
line.
Panthers team. If they could round into form, they could be a very dangerous threat here in what might be a pretty weak NFC South. The Falcons are at 1-4, I think, at the moment. I don't think the Saints are looking all that great. And the other team would be...
This defense has to be ready for run, because they're in a spot where the offense can call just about anything with this much time left.
Saints, Falcons, Panthers.
Sets up, dropping back, gets the pass off. Almost
There's a
picked
throw
off.
into double
He
coverage
couldn't
on the
come up
left
with the
side.
interception.
I bet you as soon as he let that go, he was wishing that he could have it back, because that could easily have been an interception.
Oh, the
On a third and
Buccaneers.
short situation
The
like
Buccaneers.
this, the defense has to be ready for anything.
I don't know why that's so hard for
Line
me
up
to
with two
remember.
backs
I had no
behind the
idea.
quarterback. Pressure, throws it, great pass.
Oh my goodness, that was not a good throw. It was 3rd and 3. That's going to be like a 4-yard loss, and they're not going to be able to take full advantage of the interception. 4th and 7. Yuck.
So they'll line up the punt after going 3 and out. Here's the punt. He signals for a fair catch.
Watch this. This guy's going all out trying to save this from being a touchback. And he does a heck of a job of getting there to keep it out of the end zone and set his defense up with
Oh
great
my
field
goodness.
position.
I'd never seen that animation. That is incredible. Madden 04, the greatest football video game of all time.
Ain't got nothing.
Only one man in the backfield. So he goes down at the 8-yard line. Not much there, maybe a yard.
Gain on the play.
Inside their own 20.
That was wild. That was wild to see. Looks like Indianapolis is content to just take a 14-3 deficit into the half. Carolina yet again in the backfield. They're going to call a timeout here, which is a little surprising.
As soon as he got the ball, there was a defender in his face to knock him down. They'd need a big play here if they want to have any shot at scoring before the half.
3rd and 11. Ball on the 6-yard line.
Closing in.
He drops back, fires, and finds a receiver for a first down. They'll move the chains here in a second, and that'll end half number 1, 14-3. Your score here. Kind of a weird way to end it, but it happens. No big deal.
It's the end of the second quarter with the score.
Carolina looking for win number 3 on the season. The Colts maybe just looking to get some points here.
Let's take a look.
Boy, does it not look good. 104 yards to 47. Each team benefiting from a muffed punt. Indianapolis with an additional turnover in the form of an interception that Carolina could not take advantage of. And the Colts will get the ball back first here to start half number 2.
Not a real deep kick. Should be returned. From the 10. Stiff arm with the hurdle.
Oh my goodness, a really nice run back. Colts have had a couple of nice run backs. One out to about the 30-yard line. This one out a few yards further to about the 37-yard line.
Bennett fakes the hand.
Play action pass, and they're going to go to McMahon again. We've seen him with a couple of big runs throughout this game. First one went for about 13, I want to say. This one goes for about 11.
You want to make sure that he doesn't try and do it too much, though, and get injured on the play.
Let's go to Melissa.
Good job by Indianapolis, making a little bit of an adjustment. You know that they've been in the backfield. The Carolina defense has pretty consistently. Work with a little bit of a play action. Try to get them to over pursue and pick up some yards. It looked like it was effective on that play. Go with another play action pass. McMahon stands in, fires to the right. Grossly incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Quarterback gets set with only one back.
Maybe that's why I'm getting copyright claims. It plays a lot of music that I don't realize that it's playing.
McMahon sends a man in motion. Drops back. Pressure coming. Gets the pass
to the
off.
right yet again.
Right there.
Batted down.
He has a great feel for defending the pass, and he always seems to be in great position to make a play on the ball.
And they'll face a long 3rd down here. Ball on their own 48. The Colts line up in the shotgun.
3rd down and 10.
Under pressure.
Oh, they did a really nice job
4th down play.
sending some pressure. It looked like McMahon wanted to roll that way a little bit, or at least move to his right. They perfectly called a A little bit of pressure that sent pressure to that side. Long throw across his body, just deflected. 4th down and 10.
Jet is looking for a good punt here. Here's the kick. And he chooses not
Every
to
time
return
we
this
see,
one.
like,
That's a good
really
job of
bad
getting
quarterback
downfield
play.
by the cover team
Well,
to
not
force a fair
every
catch.
time, but ever since we saw the Lions, it's just like, remember that they have like 3 legitimate starting quarterbacks in their quarterback room, and the best quarterback, one of the probably the best best rated quarterbacks in the game is a backup for some reason.
Throwing on 1st down.
Breeze drops back,
The throw.
throws to the right side, and that was well read by that Colts
Incomplete
defense.
pass brings up 2nd down.
Come up and get the deflection. Maybe not a great throw from Breeze, because it actually looked like that receiver was pretty free and
The
clear
Panthers line
behind
up
that
with 2 backs
defense. You put a
behind the
little bit
quarterback.
more air under it. Don't allow him to get a hand on it. Could have a big play down the sideline.
Using motion.
But we're working with what we have, and what we have is a 2nd down and 10.
Second.
We're going to go with a handoff left side. Contacted around the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for a couple. 3rd down and long coming up.
3rd down and long coming up here. The quarterback lines up with 2 backs behind him. Pressure, rolling.
Moves over to the right
This one
side.
goes
That looked like it was
incomplete pass brings
set up
4th
very well for a reception and just couldn't come down with it. Colts defense doing a good job. At least, like, sure, you gave up the long drive
Hansen will come
to start the
into this
game,
to
fall down
punt.
7-0.
Kingston is
You
back
give up
to
the
receive
touchdown
his
off
kick.
the muffed
Fair
punt. Sure,
There was no
Okay.
need to try and return that one.
but you've
He
made
made
some
the right
good plays
decision
here. Made some good plays to keep your team at least within striking distance. You get a field goal here,
Only
you go
one
down
man in the
14-6, you can get a touchdown, go for the 2.
Receives the handoff. Fakes the handoff. So they'll lose yardage.
They went back to that 1 too many times. That looks painful. That man looks
These
injured.
guys can really get after the quarterback.
Now they're looking at 2nd and long after the sack.
Come on, D up.
Closing in. Gets the pass off.
Throws to the left side,
It's
finds
long.
an open
Good
receiver.
catch
Nice
by the
catch.
receiver on that play.
Yeah,
Can't
he
get
made
turned
sure he
around to
was
go
in the clear,
upfield, but
moved into
should give him
position
forward
and made the
progress.
catch.
3rd down and short here. Yeah, 3rd down. Oh, actually, 3rd down and 8. I forgot that first play was a sack. What a disaster. A disastrous play followed by
Offense has been
disastrous
stepping up on
commentary.
3rd down all day.
Throwing.
Throws into a lot of traffic. I thought he had it. I was about to compliment him with an
Well, the
excellent
quarterback did his job, and
excellent
he
jumping
delivered the ball right
reception
to him.
in all that
He's
traffic,
going to have
but
some explaining
pass
to do
is
in the huddle.
incomplete. And we will see the punt team come out onto the field for the Indianapolis Colts.
Offense couldn't get it done, and the line up to the punt.
Punt is away.
From the 29.
Inside the 30, he has all kinds of room up the right side, and he is
The
free and
40,
clear for
the
a
30,
punt return
the
for a
20,
touchdown.
The 10. Touchdown.
Carolina's offense has been a little bit stagnant. Walker takes over with a
beautiful.
beautiful
Quarterback
return
can't
up the
do it
right
all,
side.
and that's why the whole
for
return
6.
team should get the credit. They had some good blocks, and he just did the rest.
Casey comes in for the extra point. And it's on its way. The extra point attempt is good. So it wasn't the offense, but the special teams that made up this scoring drive.
The offense was stopped on that last drive, and they gave up a quick 6 points. They have to do something right here if they want to get back some momentum.
And the kickoff team comes out onto the field. They'll return this one. From the 9-yard line.
From the 9 up to the 20.
The Colts
One of the
need to rebound quickly
One of the
as they
weaker
start this drive.
kickoff returns
1-2.
we've seen for the Colts. They've been getting some really stellar field position from their return team, but not so much that time. 22 is still a pretty good spot, though, or maybe more average. Which one is it? Is it really good or average? Pick one. Into at least double, maybe triple coverage on that left side.
There's just
And
no
that
excuse
will
for
be
that.
a second
He's getting
down
paid a lot
and
of money
10.
to make those catches.
So it's 2nd and 10. Throws it.
Goes to the left side, finds a receiver, and that's going to be a
Can't
first
throw it
down
up
and 10 coming up.
Textbook first down. Only one man back.
Ain't got nothing.
Pressure coming.
Drops
Guns it to the
back,
right
looks
side.
to the right side. Well defended
This one
on the
falls
back end by
incomplete.
Carolina.
That incomplete pass brings up 2nd down.
On the play.
Tried to thread the needle there, but just could not get it to the receiver.
Come on, D up. Bust this grill, D.
And it brings up 2nd down and 10.
They'll go
A little
for
over
shotgun.
halfway through
Ball on
the third quarter.
37-yard line.
Under pressure with the throw.
Set more
He appeared to
pressure.
feel the
Might have
pressure.
thrown off the
He knew
timing
he
of that
didn't have
route
much
just a
time, and he
little bit,
decided
or
to
at
get
least
rid
the
of the ball
throw.
quickly on that one.
A little too quick. The receiver was not ready.
McMahon will work out of the shotgun.
Ball on the 37.
Drops back. Flings it to the outside.
Throws to the-
He couldn't bring that
Throws
pass
to the
in.
left
He
side.
was there, and the quarterback
Couple
found him
pretty,
with the
probably a
ball.
couple of
Bounced off his hand.
real bad misses there. The Colts are going to punt. And it is looking awfully grim for Indianapolis. Our chances of being featured on the channel looking pretty grim as well. This is a bad team.
Takes the punt.
It is a little surprising that they even have 2 wins.
One block to let him go the distance.
1 or 2 more blocks would have sprung him.
I didn't see they kicked that field goal earlier. I didn't see
1st and 10.
if
Ball on their own 43.
McMahon was the holder, because that's usually the cue that it's the backup quarterback.
Breeze sets
See
up.
some kind of
Using
injury that might
motion.
explain how they have 2 wins, because this team just looks
Pressure.
anemic.
Throwing. Drops.
A little surprised to see Carolina throwing the ball here. You figure
Yeah,
you've
he
been so
started
good on the
thinking about
ground
how he was
throughout
gonna
this
take it
entire
back the other
game.
way and make
You're
a big play
basically
for
in
the
like a
defense.
4-minute
He
offense
just
at this
forgot to
point.
bring the ball with him.
I know that the
Quarterback
game probably
lines up
doesn't
with 2
understand
backs
like the
behind
strategy with like 5-minute quarters. It thinks it's like the third quarter still with another 15 minutes plus whatever time's left in the third quarter rather than 5 minutes plus.
Hand it off.
We'll go with a run play off the right side.
Back picks up about 2 on that carry.
But at a certain point, I think you just start to grind this clock down, tire this defense out, rip off some big runs, pick up some
3rd
first
down,
downs,
They
and
have a long way to go.
get the heck out of here with a pretty solid win. Maybe not the cleanest of victories. I think the score looks a little more dominant than it actually was.
Rid of it.
Each team,
Taken down at the 49-yard line.
each team, a total of 10 points scored.
The
Off
receiver
of
has that ability to make even the
Muffed
toughest
punts
receptions
makes
look
this
simple.
game look a little wonky.
Unable to get anything going on that series, they'll have to punt it away here. Here's the punt.
Ooh, really
Fair
nice
catch called
punt.
for.
We'll see if the Carolina Panthers can get there before the touchback. They cannot. They were able to hold Indianapolis to a terrible field position earlier in this one, but no such luck.
The quarterback gets set with only 1 back behind him.
Minute and 15 seconds to go here in the third. It is 21-3.
McMahon sets up. Pinkston in motion. Dropping back to pass on 1st down. Throwing. This pass is incomplete. 2nd down upcoming after that incomplete pass.
I mean, just awful.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on their own 20.
Let's go. Come on. Got all you got. Get at him, Z.
Using motion.
Cowboy.
Closing in.
Oh, McMahon's going to try and use his legs again.
Turn that one upfield.
And a little bit of a gap, but got tackled after a very short gain. Third down and long coming up.
They were in great position to stop him before he got very far.
The Colts line up in the shotgun.
Ball on the 21-yard line.
We're actually going to see another NFC South team here in just a little bit. We're going to check in on the Falcons
Pressure coming with a pass.
as they take on the St. Louis Rams. And oh my goodness.
By Horn.
I don't know what it's been about this Colts team, but it seems like third down has been their money down. The Panthers have had him in such a good spot. It's kind of like they dropped off into a little too much coverage. They've been so effective with bringing pressure off the edge and getting through, forcing quick throws, forcing bad incompletions, throwing the timing off. Seemed like maybe they dropped back into a little too much coverage that time. First down and 10 after the big play on the right side. They're going to go to the ground game and pick up 4.
Well, he's shaken up after that play, and we'll get you a report from the sideline when we get the information.
Brommel appears to have injured his elbow on the play. That is not what you want to see, especially for this Carolina defensive line that's been terrific throughout this game.
Out of the gun.
2nd and 6. Ball on the 41-yard line.
McMahon
Second
sets
down.
up.
Drops back, throws left side. Wide open receiver. Looks like he's going to be short of the line to gain.
That's just how they teach you.
I would mark him short of the line to gain. It's going to be third and about a half yard. And we will see that conversion attempt right after this quarter switch. 21-3, Panthers lead. Though the game hasn't been maybe as dominant as the score would lead you to believe, they have been able to take advantage of at least one of the turnovers that the Colts have provided them. And it's 3rd and 1. Don't love the shotgun snap here. We're going to get a really delayed cut when the play, when the action starts, so just a heads up.
With the throw and the
I don't know why. I don't know why it's so delayed.
Great catch, and then a move to
But it is. Joe Horn coming up with a reception there on the right side of the field. That's going to give him a fresh set of downs.
Only one man in the backfield.
Inside the 30-yard line.
Looking for room.
Hands the ball off, finds some room on the right. Nice spin move. Grabbed at the shoulders and thrown down.
They're within striking distance here. Under pressure. He's taken down in the
Sacked
backfield.
in the backfield for a big loss.
Sack. That gives him 3 so far.
Hey, he needs to let the other guys on defense get a sack. He's taking them all.
3 sacks for that one guy. That's... I guess they haven't been able to really get the sacks. One of them was kind of weird. They had the big one on the
26-yard line.
the big 8-yard sack earlier in the game, but
The Panthers come out on a nickel pass.
there you go. That's what Carolina needs to do. We're still able to find a receiver, though. I liked what they were doing. They brought some pressure off the left side. Panthers with only 32 passing yards throughout this game. Carolina, though, doing a nice job making sure that they're, even if they're giving up a conversion on a third down, they're still getting the tackles. And they're not letting anything big happen over the top. They're making Indianapolis be methodical in how they go about this drive. Almost intercepted that one. And they're making them take a lot of time off this clock. Hand it back to your offense. Let them shift into a 4-minute drive. Or 4-minute offense, excuse me. First down, bleed clock. Get out of here. It's as simple as that. I don't understand why everyone can't do it. 3:51 to go, second down and 10, handoff left side. We'll find a little bit of room down near the 5-yard line.
7-yard gain on the play.
Sideline, D. Here come the heat.
12th play of this drive. Closing in.
Drops and fires and finds a touchdown on the right side. My goodness.
The defense just seemed to lose track of him down there.
Colts are outgaining the Panthers on this drive, or in this game, excuse me. It's going to make it, what is it, 21.
Showing confidence in his
21-9.
special teams unit on the sideline.
I like this call here. Make it a 10-point game. That's a field goal and a touchdown. 11 points doesn't really do you a whole lot of good. They're going to pitch to the right side. No good. I hate that play. That play is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, that was a nice job of keeping those chains moving and avoiding.
There was nobody out there to block the
defender
on the outside
for the remainder of this game.
So now it's a 12-point game. We're going to see an onside kick here, I guess.
They don't have time to kick it away and go on defense, so they're going for the onside kick. The onside kick is off. They got it. That was perfect execution.
Wait, they get that?
Right there.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Half practice and half blind luck.
The defense got that? Oh my goodness, the Colts are alive. 3.5 to go. The Panthers could not come up with an onside kick. They're in the backfield again, but they couldn't get the tackle that time. A little surprised to see the Colts still running the ball. You figure they kind of shift into their like 2-minute offense, get a little bit of a rhythm going, try and get down this field as quickly as possible.
Get set. Pressure coming.
McMahon's going to try and run to the right, and there's just nothing there. There's nothing there with Panthers, I should say.
The defensive coordinator
they might actually finally have a different defensive lineman with a sack.
He has a lot of confidence in his cornerback, and he's willing to leave them
really
out
bad
for a single
communication
touchdown
on the
so
offensive
they'll blitz
line
on
there.
Just about any down, looking for a big play.
It's a terrible play. It's a disgusting play call.
They're looking now at 3rd and long after the sack.
3rd down and 13, under 3 to go.
Looking downfield.
Goes over the middle. It's intercepted.
Windborn. Watch.
Oh, that sucks for the Colts. They were able to get a hold of the onside kick, but they just
wasn't able to put that one where
couldn't get it. Couldn't get it much closer.
The offense gets ready to go following the interception.
All right, so if you're Carolina, just keep this ball on the ground.
Looking to run it here.
Really take a knee, but can start milking this clock here.
Freeze with split backs. Walker, the motion man.
40-yard line.
Again, they get the call. 1-yard gain by the running back.
Very, very short gain there.
The backs are lined up in an eye.
3rd down and 6 as we near this 2-minute warning. Shouldn't even see Carolina take this snap until the 2-minute warning happens, but they do. He's going to try and bounce to the left side. Nice spin move. He has all kinds of room, and he gets near maybe the end zone there.
He really did. He
101 rushing yards. You see the contrasting styles.
2 minutes to go.
Oh, it was down near the 20-yard line, by the way. I don't know why I thought that was the end zone, but I sure did. My bad. There was no reason for them to snap that ball before the 2-minute warning. Because even if you run a 3rd down play, still give it to him with less than 2 minutes to go. 45 has some room. He slips some tackles. That's what you want to see as this game winds down. This defense gets tired. It's harder for them to get their arms around the running backs and bring them down.
So they have
They'll burn a timeout. 1st down applicable at the 1, or possible at the 1. I don't know why. Applicable doesn't really make any sense, but either way.
Get set. We'll get the call again.
We give it right back to him. Timeout, Indianapolis yet again.
One timeout remaining. the 6th play of this drive. Hand it off. A yard.
Trying to go left side, but nothing doing there. Indianapolis out of timeouts here, so they can take it down to about 1:10 before they really need to snap this again.
With only one back behind him.
3rd down and 5. First down at that 1-yard line. Field goal is going to make it a 15-point game at 24-9. The clock management is good, but it's not perfect. Of course, when you score a touchdown, it's hard to argue.
Just get in behind the center.
Didn't get touched until he was at least at the first down marker, and then just
6 points in the board.
fell in for 6.
Casey comes in to attempt the point after.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. So 28-9 your score here.
Pinkston gets set to return the kickoff as we take a look at his stats.
Surprised that average is only 18.2 yards. He's had a couple of good returns.
Hansen is back and ready to put this one in the air. Should be a return here.
Kick is away. And from the 2-yard line, up near the 20, and he'll get taken down at the 21-yard line. So right around that average return. 1:25 to go here. Indianapolis has been out of this one for the most part. They've shown some flashes here and there, but a couple of real bad turnovers. Dampened a lot of hopes of being able to come back. And really poor play call decisions like that have not helped.
With the pass.
Throws and finds a receiver up by the 40. He's going to get into Carolina territory. He'll spin down near the 30-yard line. They're going to keep that clock moving as he got pushed out of the boundary east and west instead of going like kind of north.
Pass play here on first down. Under pressure. Throws it.
There's a throw and a fine.
Right on the mark there to move the chain.
Indianapolis all out of timeouts, but maybe having their best drive of the game.
They just couldn't converge on the ball in time.
And that even includes that really stupid play. They'll spike the ball on a 1st and 10, so 2nd down and 10 to stop that clock with 43 seconds to go. Thinking they still have an opportunity down
Only one man back.
by 19.
Ball on the 11-yard line.
Get at him. Ain't got nothing.
Pressure, gets the pass off, trying to get it in for 6, but couldn't. 3rd down.
Intended receiver on the play.
Let's go. Come on. Lose it.
The Colts line up in the shotgun.
Ball on the 11-yard line.
Throwing.
Left side,
This one's ball's
incomplete.
incomplete. Trying to get the ball to his receiver, but it's incomplete, and it's 4th down. Their slim chances of turning this into a game will end if they can't convert here on 4th and long.
You got it. Stay up.
Bennett in the backfield.
Drops back. 4th and 10. Fires near the end zone.
Down by this
Incomplete.
much, you're forced to go
They'll
for it.
finally be able to just kind of end
In
this
type
one.
of situation, the team needs to try anything they can to get into the end zone. This time they fell short. I think their best bet here is to run it with a simple handoff. You just never know what could happen on a toss play.
First and 10. Ball on the 11-yard line.
Ball. Get out now. Come on, get out. Come on, partner. Fire up.
Gives the ball off. That's a 3-yard
All
gain.
right, that should do it for this one. No need to take another snap, and Carolina
Deep in their own territory.
Snake eyes.
Second and 7. Ball on the 13-yard line.
Here come the Heat. Let's go. Come on. Bust his grill. Cowboy.
And there is the final gun. 28-9, your final. Colts showed some flashes, but it wasn't enough in this one. Panthers got off to a hot start. And that'll do it. That'll do it. Game number 2 in the books. The first one was a much more thrilling game than this. But hey, sometimes that's how it goes. A little surprised. I think the big takeaway for me personally here in this one is that Drew Brees wasn't as effective through the air as I thought he would be. This Panthers team seemed to be really comfortable just running the ball. They had that really long drive to start the game, and we just didn't see him as effective through the air as I thought we might. Let's end this game. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. We'll get this auto saved, and we'll get rolling here with game number 3. We're going to St. Louis. So pack your bags. And here we go. Nope. This one is the Monday night game. So we'll be reminded of the horse trailer player of the game.
Welcome to the EA Games Dome. Thanks for being with us.
EA
The win here
Games
tonight will
Dome?
be important in establishing momentum going into the middle of the season as the
Was it-
Falcons square off against
Used to be like
the
a-
Rams. We're here for another great game. Welcome to the action. I'm Al Michaels, my partner, John Madden.
The heck was the
Now, he's
dome
one
called
of the better
back then?
quarterbacks in the league. And the great thing about him is that he always gets the job done. Maybe it's selling a play pass or throwing a block on a reverse. He's always out there doing the little things to help his team to victory.
The Rams have a
Charles
few receivers
Rogers?
that he likes to throw to, and here's one of them. There's no question
that's right,
these
it's
two
Brett
have
Favre,
developed
isn't
that
it?
chemistry, and he's always finding an open spot on the defense to give his quarterback a target to hit. It wouldn't be surprising to see them hook up a few times in this one.
You can see these guys are fired up and ready to get this thing going.
Let's see how it plays out tonight as we get set for the opening kickoff.
St. Louis looking for an opportunity at first place, depending on how those Seahawks do. The Cardinals and 49ers are falling fast in this division early in the season. That is not where you want to be. But that's also kind of why you look at it and you go like, the Raiders, right? They fall to 1-5. Maybe they're in a division where it is possible to get back into it. You get some divisional matchups, you get a little help outside, take care of what you can control and try and climb back into it. If you were in the NFC North, let's say, you have a 5-0, 4-0, 5-0 Detroit Lions team and you're 1-5, yeah, you could probably pack your bags, but
First and 10. Ball on the 21-yard line.
On the call,
there's a nice,
about a 2-yard gain here.
maybe not nice. There's a run.
Quarterback back in the shotgun.
Ball on the 23.
2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard gain.
Fire out.
Looking for a receiver.
Favre throws, finds a receiver deep down the right side. It's going to be defensive pass interference. So it's either 1st and 10 on the 44 or 1st and 10 on the 44.
Well, he's shaken up after that
Chris
play.
Cash
Initial
injured his
report from
chest
the
on that
sideline
play.
when we get the
He
information.
will come out of the game.
So they have 1st and 10 here. Ball on their own 44. They line up in the I formation. Under pressure.
Favre drops back, throws over the middle, and it looked like he actually hit his receiver there.
He made the right
He
read,
just
ran the right route,
couldn't come up with
he
the
ended
catch.
up with 2 hands full of air.
Bring that pain, baby. To the ball.
So 2nd down and 10.
D up. Set.
Drops back. Pressure coming.
Oh, fumbled ball, and it's going to be recovered by the offensive
Very
line.
timely recovery.
Way back there near the 30-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and
You
very
never know when
long.
this type of thing is going to happen.
Here is a 3rd and long situation.
3rd and
Ball
20.
on their own 34.
Oof. Took all those yards that they gained on the pass play and said, no, thank you, we don't want them.
They line up with 7
Favre drops
defensive
back,
backs.
fires, and that's going to actually be a 1st down, and he is off and running in Falcons territory all the way down to the 30. That is a disastrous down and distance to give up 3rd and 20. You should be getting off the field on 3rd and 20. Now, I know, as a Packers fan, you're going to be like, but remember when the Eagles got a 4th and 26? Yeah, that was heartbreaking, okay? It was heartbreaking.
First and 10. Ball on the 30-yard line.
Hand it off.
Hand the ball off
And
to,
the halfback.
who was it,
picks up
it's
about
number
3.
28. I don't believe it's Marshall Falk, because I thought we saw him on a different team.
About 8 yards.
Here comes the heat.
Closing in.
Favre
Gets the
throws
pass
right
on.
side, finds a
Deep
receiver
line
down
drive.
inside the 20,
Favre
near the
really put his
15-yard
body
line.
into that
But
play.
another nice
This quarterback
completion to
has all the
Pathan.
tools. A rocket
Pathan?
arm, and he never makes a wrong read.
Never. He's never made a wrong read, John Madden. Never, ever,
The
ever.
backs are lined up in an eye.
Ball on the 16-yard line.
Bulldog under.
7th play of this drive. Again with the run. Play action.
Play action pass, throws over the middle, timing just a little bit off on that one.
He was under
Favre was looking for another second or two to kind of set and throw. Instead,
Was off.
whipped it
When he
over the
starts to feel
middle.
pressure,
Lucky
he
nothing
gets a little
disastrous
nervous.
happened
He
there,
has
but
to get rid of
still
the ball.
an incomplete pass. And a dangerous one at that, 2nd and 10.
on the call. Running back picks up about 4 yards.
Gain of 4 on the play.
Get at him, D. Get at him.
Atlanta looking for the pass as they line up with 7 defensive backs.
There is a nice completion over to the left side. That's going to go for 6.
Open in the end zone.
And just like that, the Rams are on the board real quick.
Down there.
Seen a lot of opening drive scores here. I think each team that's had the ball first has scored on their first drive. I believe that's true. 90% sure about that. 2:36 to go here in the first quarter. A couple of them have been pretty long drives as well.
And it's up. The point after
It
is
is
good.
good. I don't remember exactly how long
Puts
the...
together a tiny string of plays that ends with the ball in the end zone and a touchdown.
who led this game off?
Yeah, the
I am.
offense kept
My
taking
brain
and
is,
taking.
brain
The
is
defense
breaking
kept
here.
giving and giving until they finally got the touchdown. Now they're going to talk with their coach.
Browns?
See
I
how
don't
they
remember
can
how
keep
long
it
that
from
Browns
happening
drive
again.
was. But they did score on their opening possession, so...
And the kickoff team comes
It's been
out
a
onto the
hot
field.
start for whoever has the ball first.
And he got all of that line.
That second team has not fared as well on their first drive. About a yard deep in the end zone, he'll get it up to the 17-yard line, and maybe next time take a little deep back there. Get the ball out to the 20.
Today's game with one of the most potent offenses in the NFL, John, and clearly they have a chance to blow
Okay,
this one open.
Michael Vick,
Defense has its work cut out
the
for it.
game-breaking
They have to
man
play
himself.
aggressive and keep pressure on the quarterback if they want to
And
come
this-
away
he was
with
the
a win in
most-
this one.
Vick
He
with
was
the
by
man
like
in
most
motion.
anticipated athlete to see how they would affect the game going into this one, and it's led to a 1-4 record. We've seen a lot of players, a lot of the big name players on their normal team, and we got that in the very first game.
Second down and 9
Falcons
to go.
and Cowboys.
Ball
Cowboys
on their own 19.
had won the Super Bowl in the previous season, and the Falcons always get the cover star team always gets the first go, and they played each other, and it was very inconvenient. And as soon as they showed Michael Vick, I was like, did I do a fantasy draft? Did I manage to make that happen? I did. It was just a weird coincidence. So 3rd down and 9 following the incompletion. That was almost an interception. They're going to bring some pressure off that left side, and he's going to be just short. If Clark has that ball in his left hand rather than his right, that's a first down. Game of inches, they say.
Unable to get anything going on that series, they'll have to punt it away here. This could be a dangerous one. His blocks are set up. The 40. And he almost breaks it on that return.
It's not just a returner that makes everything happen on a play like that. Blockers have to know who to block.
That was a bad time to look away because it looks like it was a pretty nice return. Here at the 34 of the Falcons.
Pressure coming. Gets rid of it. This one falls incomplete. That incomplete pass brings up second down. The Rams line up in Tripp's bunch. He gets the handoff on the delay. Not much there. Maybe a yard.
Oh, Corey Dillon. Okay. I wonder if I had that same question back when we saw the Rams in week number 3.
3rd and long. Ball on the 32-yard line. Drops back.
3rd and 9. They were able to convert a 3rd and 20 last time around, and they were able to convert that 3rd and 9. And just like that, they're right back in. Falcons are in the red zone.
Gets them a first and keeps the drive going.
This Rams team look like maybe they're picking up some rhythm here. Of course, we did see Cleveland get off to this really hot start and end up collapsing. Do we have 2 of the same games
Only one man back
in the same video? You'll have to stick around to find out. 1st and 10 as we approach 1 minute to play in quarter number 1. Game 3 of 3.
closing in with the throw.
And that's going to be a touchdown.
And a great throw for the touchdown.
Second touchdown
only the receiver could get it.
For the Rams today. Second touchdown throw for Favre today. We have a 13-0 game. With Adam Vinatieri coming out for the extra point.
Comes in to attempt the point after. And it's on its way, and the extra point is good. So the drive didn't have a whole lot of yardage involved, but as an offense, your job is to score wherever the drive may start, and that's exactly what they did.
Let me tell you, when the offense hits the field and sees the end zone that close, their eyes all get big. And you're only thinking one thing, touchdown. So when they meet their goal, it's really a great feeling, and it shows how determined they were to get it.
And the kickoff team comes out onto the field. Nice kick and returnable. From the 1-yard line.
Pick it up past the 22 at the 22-yard line. And the Atlanta Falcons will come back out on the field.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on their own 22.
Catch the ball, man.
Vic drops back, looks, fires short to the receiver. He'll be tackled.
Soft hands on that reception.
Maybe a 2-yard gain. It did not look like there was much on that at all.
That extra work is paying dividends.
But hey, if you can get your quarterback into a little bit of a rhythm with a couple of short passes, you can start start trying to get back in this game. You just need the first down.
Off on the draw.
You go with a handoff.
They couldn't escape the
Draw
pursuit.
goes for nothing. Maybe
These guys up front are very tough to block.
Maybe a
because
gain
they
of
can
one.
use their size and strength to get excellent leverage on running plays. Sometimes they struggle a little with their consistency, but they always seem to be a big factor when the game's on the line.
The quarterback gets set with only one back behind him. Pressure with
Drops
the
and
pass.
throws.
He
finds a
his
receiver.
man. And he's
Out past the
tackled
first
at
down
the
marker near the 35-yard
Now,
line.
this is
It'll
one
be
heck of
first
a
and
play.
10 for
Look at it.
Atlanta.
You're in a hole here on third down, and they come through with this perfect play that gets them a first and keeps the drive going.
So they have first and 10 here. Ball on their own 35. Man in motion.
Do we get one more play here before the first quarter ends? We do not.
St. Louis has started off quickly as the
So
first
St.
quarter
Louis
comes
with a
to
good
an
start
end.
here, 14-0 over a 1-4 Atlanta Falcons
Atlanta
team.
needs to get to
St.
work
Louis,
as
depending
we
on
start
how
second
the
quarter.
rest of the day shakes out, could be in sole possession of
They line
first
up in the I
place
formation.
in the NFC West. Seahawks play the Packers today, I believe.
Tosses it left.
Pitch to the left side, tries to get the edge, but just can't
Didn't
quite
have much to
come
work
up
with
with
on
it.
that running play.
That's because the defense did a good
Nice
job
job
anticipating
defensively
the
there
snap
by
count.
St. Louis.
With an aggressive defense like this, a hard count could be an effective way to keep them off balance while trying to draw them offside.
Second and long. Only one man in the backfield. Throwing.
Vic throws, finds a receiver. He'll turn upfield past the first
Has
down
been
marker.
Perfect on this drive.
Yeah, what
And
happens
he's,
if you get
they're
into a
looking
rhythm?
good, getting
The way
into
this
that
guy's
rhythm,
throwing, he's
getting
gonna
some
stay in
first
that
downs
rhythm
here.
until the defense knocks him out of it.
Only one man back.
Ball on the 46-yard line.
Vic dropping back again. Fires deep left side. That time into double coverage.
That was going to be a turnover.
Lucky it wasn't
I bet you
picked,
as
just
soon as
batted
he
down.
let that go, he was wishing that he could have it back, because that could easily have been an interception.
It's second down and 10 to go. Ball on their own 46. Clark goes in motion. On the pull.
Hands the ball off, looking for some room on the right side. Nice cut back there by the running back. Saw the lane and went for it. Good pursuit by the Rams. Just a kind of a well done play all
The
around.
Rams come out of
It was
the
a solid
46.
6-yard gain, but the Rams on the defensive side did a good job of making sure it wasn't an explosive play on the ground. They're going to pitch to the left side this time, and that is a just fantastic defensive play by the Rams to stretch that out
This line has to do a
and get
better
him
job
behind the
of holding
line
up at the point of attack. He has a
for
fast first step.
no gain, maybe
He
a
could
loss.
explode through the hole, but he needs a
It
line
looks like
to
it was
create that
a
little
solid
crease
no gain.
or
So
cutback lane to break free.
Falcons get some first downs. Look like they're going to get a little bit of rhythm going, but cannot convert a third and
Lines up
4.
deep for the punt
And they
return.
will punt this
Here's
one
the
away.
punt. And so the punt goes out
Going to
of
be out of
bounds.
bounds. 2.4 second hang time usually means it was not a good punt. And it was not, because they are at the 25-yard line.
It's first and 10. Ball on their own 25. Dillon. Great fake. Goes to the short
Off the
pass to
hands
the
and
right side.
incomplete. That was a
Incomplete
poor
pass
throw by
bringing up
Favre. I
second
don't
down.
love Dan Wynn. We have seen him a ton throughout this. Throughout these episodes. Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, it's a play action pass. You're going to throw it right to the flat. There's a defender there. All of that was awful. That play, on the other hand, pretty solid. 9-yard gain. Finds a receiver crossing
That's what
over the
makes him
middle.
so effective. Never seems to make a bad throw. Just about
Is his last
every
name
pass
Rodgers?
is
Favre
right
to
on the money.
Rodgers?
If you ask
Question
me,
mark, question
he
mark,
might
question
be
mark.
one of the most accurate passers in the league right now.
So as they get set to try to convert, here's what both teams have done on third down.
Third down is when you want your players to dig deep and make a clutch play. When you convert, It gives your defense a little extra rest, and it gives your offense a fresh
Going
set
to
of
go
downs
right
to work
side
with.
run, and they're going to just barely get it.
The drive alive.
Oh
When the
my
defense
goodness,
misses a tackle,
Dylan.
and they could have
I mean, we
forced
saw
the
him.
fourth down,
We saw
I
him
mean, that
short
just would drive a coach nuts.
earlier, right? If the ball was in the left hand, it's a first down. It was in his right hand. He fell. It was short.
Backfield is empty,
That
and they'll
time
go
the ball
with
was in the
5
runner's
receivers.
left hand. He was able to fall forward, get just enough for a fresh set of downs as we hit the 3-minute mark in the second quarter. Excuse me.
And he hits his target.
Fired over the middle. Might have a face mask here. Yes, just a small variety of 5 yards after the reception.
He got his hand on the face mask there, and
It did look like a bit of a
That
weird
defender
tackle, even
almost
from
pulled his helmet right off.
our angle in a 2004 game. Still looked a little weird.
First and 10. Ball on the 39-yard line.
Sideline, D.
Dropping back. Rosen.
Favre drops back. Short drop, short throw, but solid yards after the catch, and we get down to about the 25-yard line. Rams really liking this crossing pattern, hitting them over the middle, getting some yardage here and there after the catch.
So they have first and 10 here. Ball on the 25-yard line. And this is the 6th play of this drive. Rolling.
Oh my goodness,
This one
defensive
falls complete.
defensive
Then
back there
brings
read
up
that
second
pretty
down.
well. Looked a little weird on the back end there with both of them doing the catch motion. But it is second
line
down
up in
and
the
10.
I formation,
2:19 to go here
using
in the second
motion.
quarter.
Again, he'll get the call. Here he
Find a
goes.
nice handoff.
He's
Corey
in the
Dillon with all kinds of room. Breaks some tackles.
Touchdown.
He's into the end zone for
So a
6.
touchdown after
We got a bit of a route going on here.
That guy just wouldn't stop.
As the Rams
Coach
are now up
would've been
20 to
satisfied with the first
nothing.
down. Looks like you got a bonus plan on that one.
So they'll try to tack on the extra point. And it's up. The extra point
Kick is up and the kick is good. So a 25-yard run by Dillon puts them up by 3 with a little over 2 minutes to go here in half number 2. Atlanta's got to get this double done.
out there, and it's showing on drives like
They just have to. It's ideally 2 touchdowns. It cannot be 2 field goals. I think you can live if you get 10, but the Rams cannot touch the ball, and they have to get points on the board here.
Is lined up for the kickoff.
Booming kick downfield.
From the
1-yard
goal line, we're going to go up. I don't know. He is going to go up.
You know, they
He
have
hit the
some time,
20
so
and
you
really
can try
started
for a
to
quick
move
score
toward the
to
opposite
take
side
some
of the
this
field and
momentum
didn't
away.
gain any additional yardage. Maybe a yard total, but looked like it was going to be a pretty solid return, and then he didn't really do a whole lot.
The Rams come out in a nickel
2:08 to go here in the second quarter. Vic under center, throws a quick pass,
incomplete.
kind of
Quarterback
broken up
putting it in
there, or
that
maybe
hole.
just kind of
You
some
gotta deliver
contact
the
as the
ball
ball
out there
got there
quickly,
that
but it has
made
to
it
be
hard
catchable.
for, I
You gotta
believe
use
Mitchell
some
was
touch.
the receiver's name there to catch it. Second down and 10 after the 1 second play.
Taylor, the lone back.
Ball on the 22-yard line.
The blitz is on. Slings
Goes
this
over the
one.
middle, finds a wide open
Caught.
receiver.
Powerful arm.
Up past
Brings
the
them a first
40.
down this time.
Yeah,
Should
and
take
you
us
talk
to
about
the
putting
2-minute
some heat
warning
in
of the
your
second
throws.
quarter.
This guy really let it go.
Two minutes to go.
First and 10. Ball on the 44-yard line.
Throwing on first down.
Vic, there is what I thought we would see out of Vic. He has so much speed. He is an unbelievably broken player in this game. One of the most overpowered video game sports athletes of all time. And that is how you start the double dip. They did that very quickly. That Vic run, that's what I've been looking for. I thought he would be a game breaker in this. Mitchell, for some reason, looked like he did the high step for whatever reason. With two defenders within 8 feet of him, but whatever. Vanderjagt going to come out here for the extra point. We didn't see much in that first game that we had Atlanta on, the game number 1 of this season. Pretty bad defeat there. They were 0-4 before they beat the Vikings last week. But now maybe Atlanta gets into a little bit of a rhythm, starts feeling pretty good. The problem is they left way too much time on the clock. Step 2 in this whole plan was to not let the Rams have the ball. I guess don't let them score would be a more realistic step 2. But I think ideally, if you just don't even give them an opportunity.
And the kickoff team comes out onto the field.
I think that's the best way to do it.
And this one's a short kickoff.
The kick is away. And it'll be returned at about the 10-yard line. That was not a great kickoff. And we're in a dome. EA Sports Dome.
With his guys on the sideline. Maybe they made some adjustments that are going to slow him down.
The Rams line up in the shotgun. Looking for a receiver. Knocked down. Not much touch on that pass.
He may have tried to put a little too much oomph on that throw.
I'm sure they'll be going to the air as long as they have the ball. So it's 2nd and 10. Dillon lines up behind.
High formation. Favre going to drop back. A little bit of contact all over the place back in the backfield. Finds a receiver who almost slips a defender there.
You don't always have to get to the quarterback.
Picks up a couple of yards. Real broken play there. I don't know if it's just kind of the game in general. It's been a little more consistent or noticeable, but when the running back is directly behind the quarterback and stays in the block, there seems to be a lot of collision back there. 3rd and 5. Love the play call right there. Nice job by Kelly to just run up. Hey, get enough for the first down. Let's just keep this drive going.
It's 1st and 10.
They don't get the play off in the next about 8 seconds. We might actually see a timeout taken here, which would be really bad. High formation. They snap it quickly once they get to the line. Throw to the left side. Fumble to number 41. The Falcons aren't able to come up with it. There were 2 guys there. They just weren't able.
And moving down the field,
wow.
Still a chance for them to increase their lead.
2nd down and 14 after that whole mess. I believe they gave him credit for 4 yards to the left side. Maybe on that one play. They have really not wanted to go to the left side. Favre has been happy going middle, going right. He finds the left side that time for a big gain. They're right back into Falcons territory. And this is why you can't let the other team have the ball. Especially a team that's been looking really good. 21 points already in this game. You can't take that chance.
They're trying to move the ball downfield and increase their lead before halftime.
Of course, they almost got bailed out with a fumble there. There were 2 Falcons that I am shocked did not come up with that football. Maybe even a little scoop and score action. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, we can tie this game. Favre throw to the left side, taken down by his leg after a short gain.
Makes all of his receptions look easy.
The Falcons come out with 1 linebacker and several defensive backs. Throwing.
There's a nice find out near the
It's 3 times in this
out to the sideline. 6 consecutive completions for Favre. As the clock pauses for a man to clap.
They're going to be picking up some points.
1st and 10. Ball on the 27-yard line.
20 seconds to go here. Rams really taking their time. Falcons are going to bring some pressure. He's going to throw. Finds a receiver. He's got to break one tackle, but he can't do it. 12 seconds to go. I don't know if St. Louis even has a timeout to use. We're going to pause real quick. They do have a timeout to use. They'll likely take it here with 9 seconds. That's exactly what they do. Computer doesn't really mess with it. We saw it last week, I believe, as well, where a team had their best drive of the game right before half, and just the clock management was a little off. I want to say it was Tennessee.
Comes out to attempt this one from about 26 yards.
The 26-yard field goal is up, and the kick is good. So St. Louis, after a 69-yard, 8-play drive, tacks on 3 to make it a 24-7 game now. Atlanta got a little lucky here. They only gave up the field goal. So the double dip can still work, and it'll leave them down 10 with plenty of time to work with.
Good distance.
Kick is away.
From the 10-yard line.
From about the 10. Short kickoffs here today. We'll get up near the 25, and that'll be where we'll see just one play run, and we'll head to halftime with a 17-point deficit.
Should get us to halftime.
24-7 your score here. Finger on the X button, ready to roll through that halftime performance, as it does tend to cause copyright problems. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm just like, what's going on here?
St. Louis 24, Atlanta 7. Let's take a look at
there are your stats. 231 total yards, over 200 yards passing already. That is a lot, especially in a game with only 5-minute quarters.
Vinatieri is just about ready to kick this one away. Should be a return here. From the 4.
From a little inside the 5-yard line. That is a terrific coverage situation right there. Not at the 4. I thought actually it was closer to the 15, but never mind.
First and 10. Ball on the 21-yard line.
Crosses it left. Great play in the backfield. Azuma knifed in there and made the tackle.
When you have a cornerback who can come up and make a tackle like that, stopping or slowing down the outside run is a whole heck of a lot easier.
Second and long. Ball on their own 17.
You got it. 90 bull.
Drops back with the pass.
That's a nice reception in between 3 defenders there.
He throws
That
lasers all over the field.
Solid.
He can throw them short, he can throw them long, he can throw them medium, he can throw them anyway.
The quarterback gets set with only one back behind him.
On the 33-yard line.
Get in there, Ron. Clean the pain. Set.
Just about
Shut
2
down the
yards
run
in the
game
by
there.
Perry.
Gain of 2 on the play.
Second and 8 coming up here. Ball on their own 35. The Falcons line up in the shotgun.
Ball on the 35-yard line.
Second down and 8. Atlanta looking to get back in this game with a touchdown drive here. That's a nice find to the left side, right at midfield.
That guy's always had a great arm, and that's something you can't teach.
Only one man back.
Ball on the 50-yard line.
The Falcons using motion.
First down and 10 from right at midfield. They're going to go with a run off the right side, and he is free and clear one guy to beat. Looked like there was actually a second guy coming in from the top of the screen.
Individual effort on that.
That was a huge run. Fred
Sure.
Taylor
He's got
picking
great
up about
speed.
30 on that
Plays
one.
like that show you just
Maybe
how
first down and
dangerous he
10
is
for the
when he
Falcons,
can
who look
find
like they're
an
getting into
opening
a
in the
bit of a
defense.
roll here. Maybe the second half can provide a little more of an offensive shootout, similar to what we saw in the first game. Vic drops back, hits the top of his drop, and he fires an interception. Oh, the defender was right in the way. It was a good read by them. Now the Rams, I mean, just like that. That interception, I mean, whoop, completely turns it. Maybe it's a shootout, maybe it's competitive. Now the Rams, with a solid drive here, can really put some nails in Atlanta's coffin.
Moves in motion.
His I formation.
Pass on first down.
Shifting on the Falcons side, steps up, finds some room. Gets a pass completed over to the left side. You can see the Rams here really not doing that left side all that much. More to the middle, more to the right.
So they have first and 10 here. Ball on their own 36.
Stay after him.
First and 10. Ball on the 36-yard line.
Under pressure. Goes with a short pass.
Oh, that's got to be a catch. Favre, a little rainbow throw out to the right for the fullback.
How a pass like that can go right through your hand. The
Just could
quarterback
not
made the
come
right
up
read,
with it.
and he delivered a very catchable ball. He just didn't catch it.
On the ground. Great fake. Gets the pass
Oh,
off.
that was
They're
almost
lucky that
intercepted.
one
Looked
wasn't
like the
picked off.
I'll tell you, he did
defensive
almost
lineman had a
everything
real
right
good
on
shot
that
at
one.
an
Read the
interception.
quarterback's eyes. He got himself in good position to make the interception. When it got to him, just bounced off his hand.
Ball on the 36-yard line.
With the pass. Off target, but he gets it.
Watch this one again. He's trying to make the catch, and the defender comes in there and just unloads on him. But he's still able to hold on to it. For a heck
Really
of a
nice
play.
catch and a good job holding on to that ball. That's a big hit. Favre leaving him hang out, or leaving him out to dry there.
First and 10.
First and 10, halfway through quarter number 3 here. Favre drops back, rolls right, and he hits. He's hit, and another fumble.
So they
The
get a
Falcons
second
are
chance.
unable to come up
Ball
with
just
it.
took a lucky
Rams
bounce.
have
Right
left
back
some
to the
gifts
offense.
on the field, and they just keep getting them back.
The Falcons come out in a nickel pack.
3-yard loss sets up second down and 13 as the clock continues to move. This is why that next step of the double dip is important. You got to get that score on the first drive out of the break.
The incomplete pass brings up third down.
On the cover.
Third and long. Ball on their own 46.
Get at him, D.
2:01 to go here.
Using
Third down and
motion.
13.
Drops back. He's looking. Pressure.
Favre holds on to it too long, and the Falcons
Second rounder
do a good job to get off the field without giving up
His
any
second
points.
sack.
You got to wonder why they didn't start paying extra attention to him after the first sack.
Number 7 will come into this game to punt. Here's the punt. From
There's the
30
punt
yard line.
inside the 30, and he'll get up near the, not even really to the 35.
First and 10. Ball on the 34-yard line.
We got nothing. Eagle left.
Taylor. Gain of a couple on that carry.
With the carry, gain of 2 on the play.
Vic drops way back before throwing a strike to the right side. He'll get up near the 50-yard line, and that'll be a fresh set of downs for the Falcons.
That's exactly what you're going to get.
So they have 1st and 10 here.
Get at it. Cowboy. We got nothing. Set.
Man in motion. Taylor.
It's a handoff. We're going to go kind of drifting to the right there a little bit. Might be a tad short of the first down. But still very manageable here. 2nd and inches, in fact. I mean, look at how close that is to a first down. Get ready for the delayed cut.
Line up in the shotgun.
It's a solid 2 seconds between snap and camera change. Vic is going to run right up the middle. And all kinds of room right there.
The defense lost containment on the quarterback. He's out there running
Hard to
around.
lose containment on the quarterback when it was kind of just a run. Lost containment would imply that he stood back there for 5 seconds, they over-pursued, and then he went up the middle. Not like just took it right up the middle immediately.
They line up in the I formation.
Ball on the 29-yard line.
Fire out. Set.
The Falcons using motion. He's on the
Gonna
run.
find some room off the left side. This Falcons offense has looked pretty good. That interception is
And
so
this
big
defense
at this
is
point.
susceptible to that kind of thing. Very
The
aggressive.
last 2 drives have been effective,
To
but
take advantage
the
of that.
one mistake
Get them all
and
going in one direction, then you cut
just
back
all
against
over.
the grain.
So we've reached the end of the third
All right.
quarter.
Through 3, it's 24-7. Though the Falcons are looking to make it interesting.
The teams are set for the fourth
Driving
quarter of
in
play.
Rams territory. They can score quickly here. They might be able to get a couple more possessions out of this, but the Rams' best bet is, even if they're giving up yards, just make them take their time.
Ball on the 18-yard line.
Vic, quick drop throws, and that is exactly the opposite of what I was talking about. That's what the Falcons needed.
Virginia Tech finds his man and throws his 2nd touchdown of the game.
We have a 10-point game here. A little surprised he went. A little surprised with the way some of those players went, especially on the defensive side. Probably something we couldn't see in that replay angle, but it looked like he was breaking to the outside, and the defender
They'll get set
went
for the extra point.
to the opposite way.
The kick is up. The extra point attempt is good. And so they turn that drive into
18-yard.
as it ends with a touchdown.
Touchdown
They did
reception
everything
there.
They had to on that one. The end result is a trip across the goal line and a TD on the board.
Vanderjagt is back and ready to put this one in the air. It's on its way. From the 9.
From inside the 10-yard line, he'll find some room up to the 25, and then kind of got tackled and
onto the field.
flew forward for a few extra yards. And it looks like it'll be first and 10 right at the 30-yard line. 4:54 to go in this one.
Rogers, the motion man. Dillon.
You go with a handoff. That's what you want to see out of the Rams.
Still runs the defender to the ground. A 5-yard pickup on that.
Start
one by the
running some
tailback.
clock. 4-minute offense.
Set. Hut. Give it all you got.
They give it to the
You go
halfback.
with a handoff. All kinds of room right off that left
Set
side.
of downs
Up to the
after a nice
45-yard line.
pickup
First
on
down
the
and
ground.
10.
Hey, nice job up front.
Great
Holding
run
their
by
line.
Dillon. We have some
Allowing
good
him to
running
get a
backs and good
run for a
quarterbacks
first
here.
down.
Fred Taylor
First and 10.
for the Falcons with
Ball
Michael
on their
Vick,
own
and then
45.
Corey Dillon and Brett Favre for the St. Louis Rams.
Ball on the 45-yard line.
Pass play here on first down. Under pressure.
He got hit as he threw, but still somehow managed to get an accurate ball out to Corey Dillon.
That's the kind of
Right on
you
cue.
can only get through repetition in practice.
Atlanta comes out with 7. In
Second
the
down and
secondary.
7, so a 3-yard gain.
Throws it.
There's a nice find to the right side and just right at the sticks. Turn around, fall forward for
The quarterback surveyed the field, found
for
the
a
open guy,
couple
and
extra
got the
yards
ball to him
and
in a
first
hurry.
down.
So
That is the first, by the way, the last game we had an onside kick recovered by the kicking team. That's the first time we've ever seen that.
With only one back behind
Pretty
him.
wild.
Nice
Be able to
play.
play action pass. He's going to somehow found a receiver. Wow.
What he's doing is sitting back there
In double coverage.
seeing everything. Make a great decision.
Really nice throw.
Getting the ball to the right guy. He's playing very well right now.
Only one man back.
Drop back, drop. Get in there. Set. Hawkeye right.
No pass on the first down. He tucks it away. So the halfback gets about 2 on the draw.
Second and 8. Ball on the 18-yard line.
Second down and 8. This is critical time for the Falcons here. St. Louis is doing exactly what they need to do. Just milk this clock. Can end in a 3-point addition to their score, aka a field goal. Really dumb way to say that, but
Just won't go down. 6,
no
maybe 7
turnovers.
yards
Take
on the
3-4
penalty.
yards every time.
On the play.
Just keep it churning.
D, hold the line. Give it all you got. Bring that pain, baby. We'll see.
Dillon is the deep back.
Ball on the 13-yard line.
Come on, D.
Sharp. The man in motion.
And there
And we've
is the
reached the 2-minute
2-minute
mark.
warning. 24-14 your score here. As we wind down Week 6 action coming up, we'll have scores. We'll get you updated on standings,
Ball on the
and then
13-yard line.
we'll see you next week.
The quarterback
For more
lines up with
NFL
2
action
backs
right here on
behind him.
youtube.com/Shaunosaurus Rex. There's a handoff. He's going to be a little short of
Very
the
good penetration there.
line to gain. We'll see if Atlanta wants to take a timeout here. That'd be the
They have
smart
great
play.
size and quickness up front.
At least
That
give
allows
themselves an
them to hold up
opportunity. They're going to have to
against the
score
run,
quickly.
while also giving them the speed
And
to
there
rush the
is a
passer
couple of seconds
when
off
they
the
drop
clock
back
for
to
some.
pass.
So as the game winds down, we'll see the place kicker.
Giving themselves at least an opportunity.
Adam Vinatieri comes in for about a 30-yard field goal attempt. And it's on its way. The kick sails.
Kick is up and the kick
through
is
the
good.
uprights.
9-play,
No
54-yard
hesitation
drive.
by the coach there,
Took
and he's
3 minutes off the
rewarded by his
clock.
kicker's second successful
Sends it
attempt.
to a 13-point lead.
Vinatieri comes in to kick off.
Lined up for the kickoff. Number 84.
Decent kick. We should have a return.
From the 2-yard line, he'll get up near the 20. Oh, he's going to find a lot of room. This is what the Atlanta Falcons need, a big play, and they're going to get it. He's into St. Louis territory just outside the 30. That is huge. That is huge.
So we'd expect them to
What
try to
a
continue to do the
return.
same thing and move the ball through the air against
Wow.
this defense.
Field goal does you absolutely nothing on this one.
Hold on, done. Here come the heat. Set.
Man in motion.
Give it all you got.
pass play here on first down. Pressure coming.
Quick score.
Throws it. Incomplete
Oh,
pass.
in and out of the
That
hands.
pass was
That's
right there, but
that's got to be a catch. 140 to go here. Atlanta trying to make it interesting.
The defense should focus on keeping the receiver.
God, that interception that he
from getting
threw
to the
was
sideline. 'Cause as soon as
huge.
he catches the ball, that's where he's going to want to go with it.
3-yard line.
Catch the ball, man. Take it out.
Penalty flag? We're going to see a
And there's a flag.
ball
on the
start?
That ball. That's starting on the
Whoa. No, that's a
False
no-go.
starts are kind of frustrating because they're really easily avoided by just maintaining focus.
Second and 15 here after the penalty backs them up.
Stay out, you.
St. Louis comes out with 8 guys in the box.
Get at it. Jump the heat.
Closing in. Gets rid of
Vic
it.
throws, finds an open receiver down to the 15-yard line.
He put that one
First and
right on
10,
the money.
quickly to the
They're just
line.
out there playing a little
How many
pitch and
timeouts do
catch.
they have? I think they
The
have
ball is played at the
2.
line of scrimmage. Pressure.
Vic quickly
Breaking free.
finds some room, runs the ball. It's going to be a pickup of 10 down to the 5. Clock is ticking, like what they're doing here. Don't need to spike it. Really good read by Vic. You could see that the defensive line had gotten around.
Downfield.
That's a touchdown
Just like that.
to the Falcons.
Catch. Touchdown.
There was going to be pressure coming off of Vic's
about
right
timing
side on the
between
play
the
where he
quarterback
ran for
and
10.
his receiver.
He smartly ran
That guy
up,
knew exactly
picked up
when the
10,
pass
got
was
to the
going
line
get
quickly.
there. He turned around
and that's
boom,
going to be an
the
incomplete
pass
pass.
was right on the money.
So he found
We're
his
going to see
target, and
overturn
for the
Fest
third time,
23.
It goes for a touchdown.
This one's going to be overturned. It was a really good throw, or a good decision at least.
It's overturned.
It was unclear
Okay, that
initially
was-
why they called for
a little confused
review,
on-
but now we understand the reason.
You have to give it to these officials. Their job's not easy. Sometimes they make mistakes.
So second and goal from the
Most of the
5-yard
times they're
line, a
right.
minute and 12 to go.
Vic sets up.
Get in there, man.
Dropping back. Pressure
Vic
coming.
drops back,
Passes
dumps it to
short.
the left side. That is a
He showed great
terrible,
concentration on
terrible
that
play.
reception.
The receiver has
Third
that
down and
ability
goal,
to
you
make
get
even the
no
toughest
yards.
receptions look simple.
You burn all this time, and they take that timeout right at the minute mark, even though
When
they
you're
were
down by
about
this
to snap
much,
the ball.
offense doesn't want to be facing too many third and fourth down.
That
'Cause that means
that
they're
might be
taking
the
too
nail.
much time. They
That
should
might be the
getting
nail
first
right
for every
there.
1 or 2 downs
A
if
half-yard
they wanna
gain
have
that
a chance at
burned
this thing.
that much time and a timeout.
Throws it.
Vic throws. There's the touchdown.
Touchdown, Atlanta. What a catch in the end zone.
That's a guy you better keep an eye on down there.
It is a touchdown game here.
Finding ways to get open.
Extra point
There's
for
a lot
Atlanta
of
is going to
traffic.
win it, by the way.
The kicker lines up for the point after. And it's up. And he tacks on
Kick
the
is
extra
good.
point.
4-yard
The
pass
Falcons
from
are clearly not
Vic to
finished
Mitchell.
just yet.
Makes
This
this a
team's starting to get on the
one-score
roll.
game.
Let's see if they have enough time to get it done.
It's going to have to be an onside kick here because they don't have the timeouts for it. They didn't before they took the unnecessary timeout right at the minute mark. But that did not help the situation. All right.
Well, they need
We've
the
already
ball back
seen
and
one
they need
offense
points.
or
They're lining up for the
onside kick
onside
recovered.
Here
Do
we
we
go.
have 2? No, we don't. He fumbled it.
Rams are there to
Oh
pick
my
up the ball.
goodness! A third fumble that the Falcons cannot come up with. Oh
The
my
defense has a timeout
gosh!
left, but it won't help them. Kneel downs can end the game, running out the clock.
First and 10. Ball on the 45-yard line.
That is not how I expected that to go. I didn't expect them to get the onside kick, but for it to go like that, very surprising. Timeout Atlanta, last one of the game. A couple of knees
And
here
kneel
will
down here
take
on
care of
second down is
business,
the
and
most likely scenario.
that'll be it.
Third down and long coming up here. Ball on the 49-yard line.
It'll be fourth down, but they just needed that one extra timeout to give themselves an opportunity.
So 3 and out, and they'll line up to punt. This game reaches its conclusion with the final score, St. Louis 27.
Pretty good game. The Falcons do fall to 1-5.
This concludes another EA Sports presentation. For John Madden and Melissa Stark, this is Al Michaels saying so long. Brett Favre is our horse trailer player of the game.
Horse trailer player of the game, 20 for 29, 269 yards, couple of touchdowns for Favre, who leads the Rams to a 3-2 record. As we get set to simulate some games, we'll get you some scores, get you some standings updates, and we'll be ready to move on to next week. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Some pretty good games today. That second one was kind of a dud, but first one got real interesting. The Falcons made it interesting there. There in the second half, especially towards the end. I mean, even if they're able to knock I guess it'd still be a 4-point game. All right. Well, we'll move on here. I forgot that first game was an overtime thriller as well. All right, let's do this. Simulate the week. I got to make sure that I don't simulate the season. That'd be real bad. Ooh, Saints Falcons leading off next week. What is the game of the week? Oh, all right. Well, there you go. That'll probably be our big finale. 2 undefeated teams. And that's where we'll start. Cowboys win 24-3 to improve to 5-0. Big matchup next week against the 5-0 Lions, who I believe are on a bye this week. Packers take out the Chiefs. They are 5-1, so they will be, I think they'll be in second in the NFC North, but it doesn't really matter because, it'll all work itself out. 27-20 your final in that one. Panthers decimate the Colts. The Colts are 2-4. I should probably check the injury report to see if they have a different quarterback. That was not a good performance by the Colts. Speaking of bad performances, the Jaguars get blanked at home to the Dolphins, 17-0. Giants beat the Patriots 19-13. Bears fall in New Orleans 24-17. The Titans win a tight contest against the Texans 27-24. The Buccaneers stay perfect in Washington 24-16 your final there. The Ravens win by 3 to improve to 3 wins on the season and drop the Cardinals to 1-5 in the NFC West. 17-14 your final out there. Steelers, they drop the ball in Denver 30-20. Bets in the Jills. Jets and the Bills in an AFC East showdown. The Bills come out on top 23-13. Big matchup in the NFC West. The Seahawks keep pace with the team that we just saw win the game, which was the St. Louis Rams. 36-7. Big victory over the 49ers. It looks like it's going to be the Rams or the Seahawks with the NFC West, as the 49ers and Cardinals are both 1-5. Last but not least, there it is. The Rams, they take care of business and drop the Falcons to 1-5 with a 27-21 victory. Heading over to the standings, still 3 undefeated teams, all of them at 5-0. We got a big one next week, Lions, Cowboys. Be sure to tune in for that. AFC North looks like this. It's crowded as it usually is. The Ravens are on top at 3-2. The Browns in second at 3-3. The Bengals In third at 2-3, though they should be 3-2 because my goodness, the way they lost that game last week. Steelers in last, the way I like to see them, at 2-4. AFC South has the Texans on top at 3-2. Jaguars in second at 3-3. The Colts and the Titans tied for last at 2-4. AFC East has the Bills on top at 4-2. The Patriots behind at 3-3. The Jets and Dolphins at 2-3. AFC West has the Chargers on top with 3 wins and 2 losses. The Chiefs just behind at 3-3. Broncos at 3-3 as well. Raiders at 2-4. NFC North is a battle between the Lions and the Packers. Both teams have 5 wins. The Packers have the 1 loss. The Vikings and Bears are 2-3 each. NFC South has the Buccaneers on top at 5-0. Panthers at 3-2. The Saints at 3-3. And the Falcons a lowly 1-5. NFC East has the the Cowboys on top. The Giants get a little bit of a boost because they only have 2 losses at 3-2. Washington's at 3-3. Eagles at 1-4. And then we'll head out west to see this division, which is kind of just a disaster. Surprisingly, the Cardinals have as many points as the Seahawks, but they've only amassed 1 win. 3-2 for the Rams and the Seahawks, 1-5 for the 49ers and the Cardinals. 49ers are getting routinely spanked. They are 60 points in the hole, 70 points in the hole already. All right, there it is. There you have it. There is another week of NFL action right here on youtube.com/OnosaurusRex. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you've subscribed, rang the bell. You'll be notified when I post new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.